He shot the sheriff, but he did not shoot the deputy. All around in Bob's hometown, they're trying to track him down. They say they want to bring him in guilty for the life of a deputy. For the life of a deputy. He shot the sheriff. No. He shot the federals.
Oh yeah, my background. Damn, what the hell am I doing? I'm sorry. I can get ready. I get excited. I don't know. Hang on. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I first need to do this. I want to talk police brutality. Bring the brutality protesters. Tag them.
For what? I don't know.
I don't know my background yet. Hang on.
I've got plant a seed.
They say kill it before they grow. Can y'all hear that? Can't hear Bob? They say kill Bob before he grows. And they did. The CIA got him. He shot the sheriff. He shot the innocent. He did not shoot the federals. I'm gonna talk about police brutality. I see a lot of posts on police brutality. Half the time when I don't know what to do, I look at what y'all are posting. I think Brother Harvey sent it to me this morning. I want to talk police brutality. Hang on, I first got to do some sharing. Who's that? Good morning, Lori and Kati, Carolyn, Brenda. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. How y'all doing? I want y'all to invite your police strugglers. Anyone struggling against the police, anyone fuggling, invite them. I need to talk about something today. I want to talk about something. Get my rant out this morning. I need to talk about, because I'm sick of y'all making a sustainable cycle of police brutality, NSA brutality, CIA brutality, FBI brutality, NHS, DHS, and all the other acronyms they don't talk about. All the brutalities. They all come from the same people. And it's sustained on the same people. The people shooting the deputies, not the sheriff. All right, hang on. Don't shoot nobody. Don't shoot nobody. I can't say you say that, then they ban your video. You're a bad man. You're violent. No, I'm just saying I don't like sustainable systems that kill children. Okay, that's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. And if you're out there, I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yes, it is a bad name. Black Lives Matter. It's a bad name. Good concept, bad name. Same with White Lives Matter. Good concept, bad name. Same thing with Blue Lives Matter. Same damn thing, good concept, bad name. They name you people to keep you people apart. Yes, and I'm saying you people. That's why they do it. They name you people so you people will go off and shoot the deputy, not the sheriff. That's why. Bob told you, and we need to use a little common sense here, right? Because they aren't slowing down and killing children. White, black, indifferent, or blue. Same damn thing. And blue is not a race, by the way. Oh, I need a background. All right, so this takes me to somewhere. I gotta listen to Bob, because Bob got shot, and he knew he was gonna get shot. He knew they were looking for him. All right, authority. Uh-oh, my screen's acting up. Let's fix that. I need a background. So, how I pick my backgrounds? I'm thinking Braveheart. I'm thinking the scene of Prima Noctis, which is actually, this is the fixed Prima Noctis up there. That's actually what it is right there. It's not Prima Noctis. It's called Druit Dua Signir Nira. It means Lord's rights. Lord's. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. It's buffering. I know. It's probably because I'm playing Bob in the background. Let me turn that off. Focus on your Lord. Stop focusing on the police. Please focus on your Lord. Focus on anybody who claims to be your Lord. Speaking of that, did y'all hear Chelsea Clinton? She says that you monkeys, y'all don't know how to behave. She don't want to raise her children. She said she doesn't want to raise her children in America. And I'm like, yes, I agree with you. I don't want you to raise your children in America either. Because I know what's going to happen. I already know. All my friends, they pick their lords and they worship them. So I already know they're going to just take her kids. I don't think we need any more princes and princesses in America. They worship their mama, they're going to worship her, they're going to worship it. I'm done with the prince and princesses. So I need a few things. Get my screen set. First of all, why do police shoot people? Same reason Bob Marley got shot. Same reason Bob Marley and Martin Luther King and JFK and the Voy Finicum and just list them all. You know, Khalid Browder, all the ones. Because people are posting about this girl, the young lady who was shot by police through the window. And now you got the police brutality report and all this stuff going on. I'm just like, I don't think you understand the problem. I get that you're upset. So hang on. I get you're upset, but you're making a sustainable cycle of police brutality by blaming the police. I'm just letting you know that. So that's where I'm going today. It's a bad idea to make a sustainable cycle of people who deliver a message and you vote and agree with the message, but you don't like it when the message gets delivered to you. Oh, yeah. All right, so hang on, let me get set up. I want to do the Braveheart scene. I can't find anything on the Braveheart scene. Let me see. Wait. No, because she was kind of purdy, right? And he started the whole war. The whole war was about Prima Noctis. That's it. Lord's rights. The Lord had a right to take your women, just how the Lord has a right to shoot your children. The Lord has a right to shoot you through the window, right? Because the police didn't make the laws. All right, I'm gonna do this one. I got this one. This is the thing I'm gonna do right here. This is how you're supposed to look. Hang on. You're supposed to be upset. You keep giving them the right, and then you blame when you keep giving them your rights, and then you blame the message bringer when they take your rights. And I don't understand that. I don't understand it. I don't think that you're doing a service to anybody murdered by their own government. I don't think you are, because you still consent to the government. All right, hang on. I think I'm gonna do this one right here. Let me see. All right, let y'all come on in, get ready to fuss at me. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word police? I'm curious. What is the first word? What is the first thought that comes to your mind when you hear the police? What's the first thought that comes to your mind when you see those pretty red and blue flashing lights? How does that make you feel? I know how it makes me feel. I grew up on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. All right, let me see. So we got Cartman here. I'm gonna do Cartman. Make him a little smaller, because if you respect their authority, you're gonna have to accept whatever comes from that authority. You got a lot of laws that are completely unconstitutional. They completely ignore your Bill of Rights. They don't think you have rights. They don't believe in Lord's rights. So they wrote all the laws for Lord's rights, not your rights. And now you're mad because you keep voting for them and the Lord's rights keep getting delivered to you. It's like ordering a pizza. You order a pizza and get upset when the pizza gets there. Huh? It's like, what? All right, I need a background. And I'm running my mouth. I'm almost there. Hold on. Let's take Cartman. Let's do this. I'm setting up my world. I get to set up my world in the morning. There we go. I'm gonna make the background transparent. And then let's go find Braveheart. Because Prima Noctis is on point, right? The same way the Lord figured he had the right. Well, he didn't figure. He knew he had the right. He didn't figure the Lord was mean. No, the citizens agreed with it and they let him take. Look at that face. Look at that face. Only your mama love that face. Only your wife would love that face, especially, well, I think she got it, but she went to the king, didn't she? They gave her up. They gave her butt up, didn't they? And he's upset. No, wait, I don't remember. Somebody remind me of the movie. Did the citizens stand up against the authority? No, she died. Yeah, I remember the funeral. She died. All right, I gotta remember the movie. She died because the citizens agreed that the Lord has Prima Noctis, which is droit de sigigubner, Lord's rights, and then he got upset when the king came and took his wife. That's what it is. Same thing. You vote for them to have a right to carry guns, to usurp their authority over you. Bad things gonna happen. And you're either gonna focus on the sheriff or the deputy. And in Bob's time, it was the sheriff. That's why he shot the sheriff, not the deputy. In your time, it's not the sheriff. The sheriff is actually on your side. I hate to tell you that. The sheriff is just doing the job for Biscuits. All right, let me see if I can find the scene. I want to see the scene where they come and take his wife. The authority given. I'm gonna turn YouTube on. Let's see if YouTube shows up. Let's see if YouTube shows up today. I give you a little hint. If you go over to YouTube, your comment, wow, look up someone. Who's that? Hunter, you on the wrong site. You get lost? Brother, you lost this morning. Seth Rich, yeah, well, Seth Rich, he stood against the authoritah, didn't he? He stood against, he didn't respect Cartman's authoritah. Uh-oh, we got Cartman on Braveheart's head. Let's move him over. No, let's move him right there and move him over here. Good morning. What is today? Today's Tuesday? Tuesday all day. Good morning, y'all. Let's put Cartman right there. Now, if you respect the authoritah, you're gonna get what the authoritah wants to deliver. If you order the pizza's gonna come. That's just the reality. We're either gonna grow up and know that, or we're gonna keep playing this game of the kings and lords telling us what fuggles we're gonna be in. No, I wanna go smoke again. You're not supposed to be smoking this morning. It's too early in the morning for smoking. All right. Let's get on to it. My background's doing something funny this morning. Let's drop that music and let's get into it. I don't think I drank enough coffee, actually. I don't think I did. I think I'm a little slow this morning. So anyway, I'm not sure the young lady's name, but it was the one, I think Harvey sent it to me. The cops, did she call the police or no, she didn't call the police. Her neighbors called the police or something? I don't know, somebody called the people who work for your legislators. And they showed up. And they got a job to do. And they shot her through the window, all right? Why did they shoot her? I know you think it's because she's black, and I know that, and I love you to death, but that you believe that because you're stupid, all right? They didn't know she was black. In the window, you know how dark that window was? Did you see the window? No, it was dark. They didn't know she was black. They were there to do a job. They got kids at home. They need to bring biscuits home and put bacon on the table. And they did their job. When you got citizens scared of the police and they're armed, and you got the police scared of the citizens and they're armed, what do you think is gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen? And I'm not yelling at anybody this morning, but I'm seeing all these posts about police brutality and the same people posting on who their next 2020 is gonna be. If you respect the authoritah to deliver the pizza, don't be upset when the pizza comes. All right, I know it's a tough message, but it's just a real one. It's a real one. You keep supporting Prima Noctis, then you can't get upset when they come and take your little girls, because they're taking these little kids off the street the same way. They're taking them out of life. They're taking them out of life because you believe the leaders of your movement have your best interest in mind. And I'm telling you that they don't. I'm telling you that they don't. I'm telling you that the leaders of Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, they all work together. I'm gonna tell you, they all work together. They all work together on one simple concept. They need a sustainable system so that they can retire well, okay? They need a sustainable struggle so they can retire well. The same thing with the politicians. And this is why I don't blame them, I blame us. The politicians, the same thing. At the top, they're writing laws, giving your rights away because you agree with Lord's rights. You agree with Lord's rights. And as long as you agree with Lord's rights, they have a right to everything they want. Back in that day, women were cattle, less than cattle, actually. Today, they're slightly better than cattle, according to American law, especially Washington State. Now, Washington State, I think they're less than cattle, and they'll take whatever they want. They don't believe in your right to life. They don't believe in your right to rights. They don't believe in your Bill of Rights. They don't care. They want to retire, just like the police. And they tell you to blame the police, and you blame the police. And so I was looking at this thing. I think Brother Harvey sent it to me. Police brutality report. The police brutality report. And I was thinking about this. What if some hackers hacked the internet, hacked every single database, spreadsheet, PDF, and replaced the words police brutality with politician ignorance of Bill of Rightsery, unconstitutional lawlery? Right? You would refocus people on the actual problem. Right? All right, so I'm gonna do some comments. Well, actually, you know what? I want to find the picture. I want to find the picture because I'm trying to paint a picture. Let's see. I was looking up for the picture when they stole his wife. Well, they didn't steal his wife. I'm saying it wrong. Where the citizens gave her away because they voted. They gave her away. This is why I ain't voting today. Why I ain't voting today, because people don't seem to have a damn clue. They're passionate. They care, but they have no common sense. When they stole it, see, this is her right here. You started a war for her, wouldn't you? She fine as hell. Hell yeah, you started a war for her. But see, he didn't think about it at the time, living in the kingdom, consenting to the kingdom. Eventually the king will come from her. Right? And this is what happens when you give up your rights. I want to see the picture of the little freak when they came to get him. When the king showed up to get him. Well, I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, look at Braveheart. Look, he look cute boy. Y'all seeing him? Look right here. Look, he's just little cute boy. He's born, just wanting to live, want to have some rights, just want to, grow some food, have some rights, marry a pretty wife, and not live around people giving away his authoritah to people who got the authoritah. That's why I agree with Chelsea Clinton. I agree with her. I totally agree with her. She doesn't want to raise her kids here. If I were a princess, I would not want to raise my kids here either. All right? Some of these silly monkeys think they got rights. I'm scared to death of the fact that my neighbors and friends worship her mama. And if they worship her mama, they're gonna worship her. I don't think we should have any more princes and lords and princesses in America. I don't think we should. I don't think we should anywhere because it's in the human race. Here's a picture. This is where they killed her. And the Lord, because what happened? Did he bring her democracy? I think he did, didn't he? Didn't he? He took her and gave her democracy that night, like the West violated. I think he did. And this is where the king cut her throat. So let me ask you a question, because the king didn't cut her throat, it was one of the lords. What is the real problem here? Is it the guy who's delivering the message with the knife? Or is it the king that claims the authority full of citizens who all give him the authority? And we got to talk about police brutality because I don't think people get it. I don't think they get it. I think they continue to support a system that's murdering people like hotcakes. And I think that's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea. So usually when I go to police brutality, I get people who like to agree with me. That's what I want to say. I want to see somebody who agrees that you should still be struggling against the police, thinking that there won't always be one of him. There's always going to be one of him. Why? Because you live in a society where people got kids, they need shoes, they play soccer, they go on field trips, they got school lunches. And as long as you live in a society where people need what only the king has, and the king owns the currency, and America's the Federal Reserve, so I ain't talking about the president, I'm talking about the people with the real power. Somebody will always come to take your wife. Somebody will always come to take your husband, right? Somebody will always come to take your children. Someone will always shoot you dead in the street. Somebody will always shoot you dead in your house. Why? Because you gave away the right. You agree with them that they have a right to take your life. They're betters. All right, what we got? Serious subject, be smart. They are agents, not hallway monitors. Right, Carolyn, they're agents with guns. They're agents with murder weapons. I was in a good discussion the other day, Carolyn. We were talking about why do police still carry guns? Why does the NSA have guns? Why does Homeland Security have guns? Why does the FBI? Why do they still have weaponry to murder the citizens they're supposed to be protecting? They're supposed to be public servants, but they're carrying murder weapons. Right? That's why people get murdered. Okay, that's exactly why people get murdered. We still agree that everyone should carry guns. I like Carolyn. I like the UK a little bit. I got some friends from the UK. Y'all tell me what you think. But I appreciate the UK. I think one thing I'm seeing out of the UK is that police are getting smarter. They're becoming public servants again. They're showing up to serve. Why? Because when the citizens got guns or knives and you show up, you're going to use your intellect, not your patriarchal brutality to deliver the king's message. Right? And I see the police getting smarter. I could be wrong, but that's what I see. I see the police are thinking. They're using psychology. They're showing up. They're being patient. They're going back to protecting and serving because they don't want to get shot. They don't want to get stabbed. That's a smart. Okay, I say UK. I say smarter. They have a smarter approach to policing, to protecting and serving than what we do in America. And so you see a lot of times in America, Americans are scared of the police. They see that light, it's already a fight. They see that light, they're ready to fight, whatever. But in the UK, I don't think it's exactly the same way. It's a little different. You're turning your public servants more into intellectuals than barbarians, right? But I think we need to progress that. It's been what, 20, 30 years since we've had non-lethal weapons, non-lethal ways of stopping citizens to do something. You know, but I think the core basis of you got to go back to people giving people back their rights. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Right, John? You're not supposed to shoot the deputy. The deputy's just delivering a message. And that's what all the police brutality fights are. That's what all the marches are for, is to keep the system. Right? The leaders hand that down because they don't want you to blame them. They want you to blame the people delivering the message, not Prima Noctis, not droit dur signor. Where Jonathan at? Did I say that right? I got up to French 3, but... Poor little Chelsea. I know, Lord, poor little Chelsea. I want them to go to Yemen. But I don't want to stop at Chelsea. I'm not mad at Chelsea. She was born into it. She's a cousin too. She's a sister too. The problem with Chelsea is people already worship her. That's the problem. Problem with Trump kids is people already worship them. That's the problem. The problem with Obama's kids, people already worship them. And that's how we always get in trouble. Because people believe that there are betters. They believe that they have more rights and authoritah because they got more jewels. And they're ready to worship them. So I think, if anything, I think Haiti has nice amenities. I think all our young lords and princesses, everyone that the grown adults in my country are getting ready to support and cheer and love and put in powerful positions. I think they all should go to Haiti to be raised. Maybe they should go to a nation that they've been writing laws for, like Hong Kong. Maybe they should go to Yemen. Courtney, no, stop it. Don't F all pigs. Number one, they're not pigs, they're just people. They're just our cousins, and they need to put biscuits on the table. And that's the only way they know how. And because you get rid of them and you fire them and you do whatever people want to do, and somebody else joins. You get them more training, you still got unconstitutional laws, they still show up with guns to give you speeding tickets, people still gonna get shot. So the problem isn't them. The only pigs I see are the hogs at the top. You might have some piglets, and maybe the piglets are the ones eating the donuts at the cafe. They're just delivering the message. But we have to go after those who claim the authoritah to write the message, the ones who write the laws. Last I heard, Chelsea was running for government, and she is, Hillary. And oh goodness gracious! And Hillary, you got the name, don't you? You got the name. I'm glad your name is Della Salas at the last. I'm glad that's your name at the. But yeah, she is gonna run for government, because that's what I would do. If I were Chelsea and I was born a princess and y'all were already worshiping me, hell yeah, I'm gonna run. Hell yeah, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna be the queen, damn it. She's gonna do what we want her to do. We're worshiping her. She was born, and her birth gives her power and authority. She's gonna do it. The problem is always us. Every time I look at the problem is always coming back to us. She has to hide the stolen money out of the U.S. The Clinton money is the base for the criminal empire and must be kept offshore. Well, it's one of them, Jimmy. I agree with you. Definitely one of them. Clinton Foundation, but now we got an Obama Foundation. Damn sure it's going to be a Trump Foundation. This is how this works. As long as you got people who hate each other, bad things happen. Like I was thinking about this whole pulling troops out of Syria. This whole just people lose their damn mind. People who won't even go to Alabama want the troops to stay in Syria. Boggles my mind. We had any degree of common damn sense, you know what we do? Because we get played by both sides. The left and right would agree with pulling the troops out of the Syria looting operation, because that's all it is, just colonization and looting. That's all it is. Our queens and kings and lords and the people who actually own and run them, they want that land for a pipeline. So they're willing to kill and murder a lot of people to get it. And you got dummies on both sides who don't see them. See, this is what I think. If the left and right had any common damn sense, if they had any wisdom within, they both get together and cheer. Yes, the troops need to come home. Why? Because 22 a day are committing suicide, and none of these wars had anything to do with America. They have nothing to do with anything important. Bring all the troops home, but then they all need to get Ubers together. This is how it works. This is how you bring people together. You get them to get an Uber together, and they all go to the airport, and they make sure the troop flights arrive. Right? Because you know what's going to happen. Because both sides got their cruddery. Both sides are trifling. Right? One side's like, we're going to end the war. And they bring the troops home and reroute that flight to Saudi Arabia. They'll reroute the flight to Venezuela. And the other side like, no, we need to keep the troops in the colonization war and create more slaves. And it's just like, oh my God. If people would ever get a clue, we could actually get somewhere. But they still respect the authoritah. That's why Cartman said it, and you need to listen to Cartman. Cartman knew what he's talking about. because he said, respect my authority. And you have to respect his authority because it was already given to him by the citizenry. If you don't agree with the authority, then you need to go back. If you don't agree that this federal government has the right to have endless wars for corporations sending American boys and girls around the world to murder other people for their resources, any country that can't defend itself, then you need to have an issue with the authority, not vote for the authority. That's what I think. I don't know if anybody disagrees with that. I just think all of your police brutality movements, reports, dissertations, PDFs, speeches, they're all 100% useless to everybody being murdered by this deep state police state cabal, from the CIA down to the commoner. Because there's always going to be someone who delivers the message of authority. You're wasting your time and you're getting people murdered. Stop. Don't make me go tie. I'm about to go tie on you. Stop now. Right now. Stop. You're carrying the message of a king. Stop. All right. You don't see it? Well, no, I don't see it either, Beaufort. I don't see it. Do I see you riding the left, sharing the Uber, going to the airport for the troops? Hell no. They don't care about the troops. They care about themselves. That's all they care about. They just need to get a wall and some health care. They're good to go. You know, and guess who's gonna pay for Yemen? They say that together. They look at Trump and they're like, yeah, he's gonna build a wall and Mexico's gonna pay for it. He's crazy. And of course on their side, like, we need Medicare for all and murdering people in Yemen's gonna pay for it. Any third world nation without a military that we can blow up and steal from is gonna pay for it. Same damn thing, same message. They just flip the avatars, they just change the names, the same damn thing. You respect the authority and worship the king and queens. Yes, totally get it. But you have also personal responsibility. Christine, that's all you have, personal responsibility. I think that's all you have. I think you have to make sure that you're doing the right things and not worry about other people. I don't worry about other people. Like, I agree with both fine. Like, I don't believe that they'll grow up. I don't believe that they'll get a clue and realize they don't have a nation, that they all agree with the authority on one side or the other. They're all worshiping leaders on one side. They're all worshiping people who don't believe they have a Bill of Rights or Constitution on both sides. I don't think they will. But, you know, I do mine. I respect my side of it. Like, I look at my accountability and I focus on my accountability, and I don't worry about anybody else's. And I think that's what we got to do. I think that's what we should be doing anyway, and not be worrying about what other people are up to. Right? People are indoctrinated to be stupid. And not everybody sees it. It takes you a while to see it, though. It takes you a while to see it. It takes you a while to see it. It took me a long time to see it. Damn, it took me a minute. All right, let's go on over. Well, you know what? Let me do the comments before we look at the news and see if there's any respecting of the authority in the news. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Gerard is live on YouTube. How about that? It's working. I think they said it wouldn't work for a little bit. Let me see. Don't vote, don't support those that are okay with killing people to put bacon on the table. And that's the bottom line, Rebecca. Like that's it. The personal accountability, right? You know, just you determine that you don't want to support this and you do the right thing. And don't worry about other people. I'm not worried about other people. Now, I'll make jokes. I'd love other people to come forward and think about the not being okay with murdering people that for their health care, their walls, and all the goodies that the lords and kings promise them. I just think Prima Noctis is a bad idea. I don't think that anybody will have rights in a nation that still agrees with lords' rights. I think the Lord will and the Lord writes the laws, the lords will always claim they got more rights than everybody else. They murdered his wife. That's right, John. Thank you for that. That was back up. And that's what they were supposed to do because the population agreed with it, right? The Lord usurped his rights. Right. The federal government claims that you don't have a constitution. They believe that you don't have a Bill of Rights and they're writing laws. And we agree with it. So they have a right. They have a right to come in here and shoot me right now. They got a right to walk in your house and shoot you right now. You know why? Because the population agrees with it. And after they do it, they're going to vote again. It's their right. You have to stand up. You have to stand up and not care. But we got to get Trump. I met this lady yesterday. All right, I got to admit, I was tired. You know, you catch me early in the day and you want to talk about this silly authority and worshiping kings and Trump is a killer and murderer, but your side isn't. That Trump is racist and your side isn't. That everybody in the nation's indoctrinated to be something stupid. including me. You show up early in the day, we can have a great discussion. I was tired yesterday. She showed up. She's like, oh, we gotta get Trump out, blue, no matter who. And I was just like, I want to fight, but I can't. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. I'm not on coffee. I just kind of told her, you know, when I talk to people, I want it to be, I want to come away with something, and I want them to go away with something. So when you run into people who watch TV and they believe the color picture, they believe the boob tube, and they really believe that Trump is so different than Obama, so different, not just a little clumsier with legislation, revealing some of their secrets. You have to think about the level they're at. Like she wasn't ready to hear. She'd have blue screened if I said Trump and Obama are the same. She'd have blue screened. She'd have just shut down and rebooted. And she wouldn't have took anything away from the conversation. She just thought I was crazy, because that's alien, right? Anybody who watches the news, the hate Trump news, and you say anything that he did anything positive, perhaps, they lose their mind. Anybody who watches the Trump is Jesus news, then you say anything critical and they lose their mind. So you have to kind of sit in the middle. So I was tired. I really couldn't, I was just kind of like, just calm down and, just let's think about this. The banks have more power than anybody thinks about. And she agreed with that. And her husband did too, which was great. And so we kind of started a conversation. Like, yeah, the banks. And I kind of mentioned a little bit of the Federal Reserve. And she kind of defaulted back to her position that function, the subroutine, the procedure kept kicking in. Like, hey, we got to get Trump out, blue, no matter who. She started throwing names out, some queens and lords and kings. I didn't know the name of them. I don't really follow the kings and lords in the Democrat Party. I've given up that amount of worship. But the interesting thing was, after about an hour of talking, she kind of agreed that both parties are dirty, which was good. She still had the coding. They got to get rid of it, and personal accountability, like I said. But I can't force her, and I'm not going to try to. I just try to give people a little bit of what they need to get to that next step, and that's what you should be doing too. Like we were talking about that yesterday. Well, what do we do? Help people. That's what you do. You help people. You help people think about where they are and give them what they need to move them forward, right? Give them a little bit of what they need, wherever it is, but don't hit it too hard. Citizen Deb you drinking more coffee? I need to drink more coffee. I'm kind of calm today, citizen. I'm a little calm. Oh Lord, they're gonna say Bofon is here. He's gonna judge my coffee limits. He doesn't believe in personal accountability. He wants to keep me accountable. I like to pick with him. All right, let's go down. Let me see. Governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Declaration of Independence. Bottom line, Adam, thank you. I appreciate that. Right there. Governments are instituted among men deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. Bottom line. You understand what Adam is saying? He's saying that you agree with them, whatever they want to do. And because you agree that they have that power, they're going to usurp that power how they choose. You ordered the pizza. You call it up. Domino's, hello. I want a pizza. And they deliver that pizza. And when that pizza comes, it's like chickens coming home to roost, right? When you give away your rights, the Lord is going to exercise his rights. That's just how it goes. And that's what Prima Noctis is. You give a king the rights over your life and your wife. What do you think eventually one of the Lords is going to do? Like this is what Adam, this is why I'm kind of an anarchist now, I think. Because I mean, the more and more I look at the system of feudal or the tribal to feudal to governing, they all hate anarchism. They all hate the idea that you're free and you can go do what you want to do, and you don't actually have to have rules over your life. More and more, I'm becoming an anarchist. Like I at this point, I think I only see you give power to the few or you don't. That's what I think I see. You give power to the few or you don't. I think there are some inherent natural laws and rights. I think there are some things that we all agree on. None of us want to be raped. None of us want to be shot. None of us want to be abused or killed. None of us want bad things to happen to our kids. And we all agree on that. Imagine if we had a state of anarchy that was peaceful. Right? Because every time you hear the word anarchy, you see people running in the streets and burning stuff, going crazy. But imagine if we just respected everybody's rights and we looked at each other as each other. we would have those basic laws. And anything above that, nobody would really care about. Everything above that's politics, right? Because you don't, as long as you're not being violated and your kids aren't, and nobody's joining up with a few kings and lords who think that they got the authoritah over your child's life or your life, you're good to go. I think the more and more I'm becoming an anarchist. I'm realizing that I was lied to my entire life about anarchy. Rebecca's asking who agrees with them. Well, obviously the masses do, right? The masses are still voting for them. The masses are still agreeing with people who think we have no rights, who have been taking our rights day after day after day after day. I mean, they're still talking. I'm looking at the news. They're still talking about Russia. You know, who agrees with them? All the people who believe the news. The real problem is the desperation to do whatever we can to ensure our needs, which is due to people trying to control and manipulate others. Manipulate others. Their behavior is obsolete. We can ensure we all have all we need and give everyone the best quality of life by using technology intelligently. Kim, you're a woman after my own heart. I had to kind of think through a lot of that, but there's a lot of depth in the statement. And the thing is, we know we can take care of everybody. We know we don't need police. We know we don't need all the laws. We know that. We know we have automation to do all of this. All the old disagreements and arguments about resources are all dead. They're all legacy arguments. They're all gone. The whole reason to have political parties is stupid now. There's no reason to have political parties anymore. There's no reason, because everything is a fight over energy. Everything's a fight over resources. Now we know they're all abundant. We know resources are everywhere. We know we have mining technologies to make sure everybody gets everything they need. We have 3D printing technology to guarantee everyone can have everything they need, and the robots are paid for. But see, that's where the problem comes in, right? Because people are indoctrinated to be okay with Mexico paying for it. They're indoctrinated to it's okay if white people pay for it. They're indoctrinated to be okay if it's Venezuela paying for it. They're indoctrinated to believe it's okay if the barbarians are paying for it, right? They're indoctrinated to see barbarians and pagans everywhere, you know? So absolutely, I agree with that. I completely agree with that. I'm looking for anybody to disagree. Anybody disagree? Should we keep going after the police? I'm looking for somebody to disagree. I know y'all know people who disagree. You need to tag them. You need to tag them and say, it's a guy on TV, it's a brown guy. Well, you don't say brown. Damn it. All right, you gotta be racist. That's the only way to bring the right people. You gotta be racist. You just gotta say, it's a black guy. He's saying, stop blaming the police. Stop blaming them. Stop it. Stop it. He's saying the problem is you. You fix your behavior. You take on your own personal accountability. Right? There's a black guy on TV saying the only reason black lives don't matter is because he used to vote Democrat and Republican. You gotta be racist sometimes. Oh, somebody mentioned the CIA. You know what? I saw the CIA. Did y'all see the CIA video yesterday? Who posted that? The CIA whistleblower who were saying that we grab children for the elite. Did y'all see? I might have to play that. Let me see if I can find that. Did y'all see that? Right, you agree with their authority, and that's another good example. If they got the rights to shoot you through your window, they got the rights to shoot you after a traffic stop. They got the rights to do whatever they want to you in prison. They got a right to shoot you because you want to let your cattle graze on some land. And hell yeah, they got a right to take up kids and deliver them to the elites. That was a CIA video. There's another CIA whistleblower. How many CIA whistleblowers have come out the woodworks? I think I might have to play that. Unless y'all want to look at the old. You can look at the old and we can go play that. But I thought that was important because people don't believe it. And to me, it's not shocking. Like, oh, the CIA grabbed kids and gave them to rich people to screw, kill, murder, or hunt. I'm like, yep, that's normal. That's what the king's been doing that since the beginning. Who is surprised by that? Please give me an angry face if that surprises you. Who does that surprise? We gave them all the authority. We gave them all the rights, and they're using that authority and those rights. Why would that surprise anybody? And we vote for it. Oh, did y'all see this? I gotta show you this. I'm going down my timeline and I see stuff. I just had a holiday. I missed my holiday. No, that's not it. I had a holiday. I just had an anniversary. It's the anniversary of. You know how I tell y'all that we're not making AI, we're making racist I, we're making mentally ill I. Here's a good example of it. Facebook, the AI, the learning software, somebody smile, they already seen it. We're not making AI people. We're making mentally ill I. Y'all see me? Anybody see me in the picture? Show me. I know all my racist friends like, oh, that's you. You all over the picture. You everywhere. I know, because the statement is true. Do black people look alike? Hell yeah, they do. Hell yeah. Listen, do white people look alike? Hell yeah, they do. They do. First of all, there are only so many muscles in the human face. Everybody comes from a certain area, so you only got so many muscles doing certain things with your nose, your lips, whatever. And if you're not used to looking at those people, do they look alike? Hell yeah, they do. That's not a racist statement, that's a fact. Okay? You're not used to looking at them, all right? So the people who were raised in Tupelo, Mississippi, in a trailer park or the Appalachian Mountains on a hill, when they say that I'm in every single picture, I'm everywhere, then this ain't the truth. Okay? They're not used to looking at people with the muscle structures in my face. This ain't the truth. That's not racism, that's called literal facism. That's the same, it's normal, okay? But this is what I'm saying. And so the same way that they can't recognize my face from everybody else in that picture, AI can't recognize their face either, because this AI tagged me. AI tagged me and said that is me right there. Look at that brother right there. That's me right there. AI said that is you. He has brown skin and a bald head and a big nose. That's you. And that actually right there explains mass incarceration right there. All right, you know, that explains that same sketch artist that keeps drawing these pictures of one black dude. And every black dude's like, all right, we're on the lookout for a gentleman that's bald and black, and we all stay in the house. We stay in the. I got trapped in the post office once. It happened to white folks too. I know you don't believe it, but it does. You know, you're out there where we're looking for a bald-headed white guy or guy with a mullet. They all stay at home. They better stay. You better stay in that trailer. You better not come out. I was caught in the post office because I got to the post office once. And I heard this helicopters flying. I was, what the hell's going on? It was a nice day. The sun was out. I figured I'd go ahead and walk through the post office. See, we're having real talk here. Here we do real talk. We don't do fake talk. We do real talk. We just be honest and real. We don't have teams and nonsense. So I figured I'd walk down to the post office. The sun was shining, damn it. And I grabbed that shirt, and I think actually it was a yellow shirt. It was a yellow shirt. I only got one yellow shirt. I was dumb as hell to put a yellow shirt on that day. But I didn't know. But I should have known. I live in a country that you don't have no authority. I got to the post office. I'm like, look at the helicopter, what the hell? And I got to the post office, and the lady said, oh yeah, did you hear? No, I didn't hear nothing. What am I supposed to hear? Am I supposed to hear something? She said, yeah. A couple of inmates broke out of the prison. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, that's what the helicopters are looking for him. And I'm like, oh Lord. I'm like, oh Lord, because you know, I know the police here, they ain't used to seeing people like me. I didn't get it, and I ain't mad at them. I just understand. I understand why they went to Vietnam, came back, didn't like any Asian people. I understand. I'm like, oh Lord. I'm sitting here looking at my shirt like I got prison yellow on. And I need to get home. And I live in a nation where everybody keeps voting for me to have no rights. Like, oh Lord, I don't even know what to do. You know what? But I will tell you, I did get home that day because I'm here on the video, but I did not take the main roads. Hell no. Oh no, I ain't crazy. You think I'm stupid? Hell no. I took the back bushes. I was hiding, running, ducking, jumping. And that probably would have got me in trouble to begin with. I shouldn't have done that, but I was scared. What am I supposed to do? They looking for somebody who just broke off the farm, and I got on a yellow shirt, and I'm walking around bald and brown. And I know most people in there bald and brown. Oh no. But I made it. I made it. Like people ask that dumb question. Well, you saw the police. Why did you run? Really? You don't know why he ran. You have no idea. It's not, you know, what do you do? Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask you, because I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm just going to ask you. When you see the lights, and this is the funny thing, my best friend, he's on my Facebook. His father was the chief of police in D.C., was one of them. All right, listen, I knew him. I'm not even gonna say his name. I go over the house. We used to play, spend the night. That's a little weird. They little weird. They put mayonnaise on a lot of stuff. A little weird, you know. I was looking for, well, how Dave Chappelle said, I was looking for grape drink. They had grape juice. What the hell is juice? I'm looking. All right, anyway. And I got over there, and I appreciated him. I loved him, and I loved his brother and mother and father and everything. But damn it, when I see those lights. No, I know where I live. I live in America. I feel the same way the Duke boys feel. I feel the same way the brother with the mullet feel, that got the gun rack. We all feel the same. We see the light, oh Lord. We all think the same thing when we see the police. I'm not mad at the police, but the fright kicks in. Why is the fright kick in? Because my neighbors keep voting and me not having no damn rights. That's why the fright kicks in. Why? Because anytime we see them bad things happen, you got bills to pay, now you got a bill. He's a bill collector. That's what it is. Think about it. We're going to get down to the root of this. Why do you really get scared when you see the lights in your rearview mirror? Because you know you got bills to pay, and that's a bill, man. You went through that light, you looked at your speedometer, you're 10 miles over. You know, everybody, they stay at 9. If you come to America, by the way, just stay 9 over speed limit. That's all you got to do. They, for the most part, leave you alone unless you fit a description. Then it doesn't really matter. They're going to get you anyway. And you know, it's a bill. Because when he's done talking to you, license and registration, when all of that's done, what happens? You get a bill. He's like this Comcast. He's like Verizon or somebody. When it's all said and done, he's going to need you to pay. And you know that the kids, they need shoes. They, you know. Anyway. So, all right, let's do this. Let's look at the news. So I think that we got, oh, you know what? I didn't even get down to what I wanted to show you, did I? I wanted to show you something. Oh, look at this. Y'all missed this? Y'all see this one right here? I posted this. I got to show you this. This is actually a picture of a bird. He's playing Western. Oh, let me get rid of authoritah. I got him. Well, I'm not going to get rid of it. I'm just going to move authoritah over because authoritah still fits. Because the bird has the authoritah. Did the gift stop? What happened? Gift stop. I clicked on. There you go. It's a bird who's given the authoritah. So he act like the federal government in Western nations, and he's bringing democracy. He decided to bring some democracy and freedom and liberty to a group of people. See, that's what democracy and liberty is. See, you thought democracy and liberty had to do something with freedom and people and like living life in the Venus Project, some food and houses and be able to control the government. Hell no. Democracy and freedom is about knocking buildings down. Pay attention. Do you watch the news at all? Democracy, freedom, liberty, and helping people is about destroying their infrastructure. It's about dropping bombs in their water and white phosphorus over their houses. You got to knock that stuff down. That's all the bird's doing. But this is how you used to observe nature. You observe nature, it explains you to you. It's just, he's just playing. He's just playing Western government. He thinks he's Britain for a little while, that's all. All right, no, that's not what I wanted to show you. Hey, no, that's not what, I want to show you the CIA one. That's Chelsea right there saying she don't want to live with y'all monkeys. So some of y'all monkeys think you got freedoms and rights and you know, you're not respecting the authorities. But she ain't going nowhere, that's a princess. I'll be kissing her feet later. That's just how it goes. You will too, if you're still alive. We're still here. You're gonna kiss her baby's feet. That was kind of funny. Look at the little baby ate a Smurf. Oh, yeah, I had a little fun last night. I woke up, I was laughing on some stuff. Hang on, I don't want to show you my whole timeline because there's people who are still, they don't want to show that I watched Gerard. Let me do this and go there. I want to show you the CIA thing real quick. Ooh, that's important. I should. All of this is important. This is all important. I can't believe. Oh, that's important too. That's important. Now, let me get down to what I want to show you. Because I start showing you my timeline. We're gonna be here all day again. I get onto this stuff and I can't quit with it. Let's get down. Dr. Sebi. Oh, I gotta kind of show you this one. I gotta show you this one. This is not just birds who think they're the federal government, you know, who have the authority. It's also people too. Y'all see this one right here? She thinks she's the federal government. She wants to help by shooting a catapult. Oh, you missed it. Yeah. So this is why you shouldn't play with weapons, children. This is why all weapons need to go and stay in the museum. Shut up! Right there. See, this is an example of chickens always coming home to roost. This is a great example. This is karma. You go blow up something else and something gonna come back on you. It's just sometimes karma comes back a little faster than you want it to. Sometimes it doesn't come back to rape and kill and destroy and enslave your children. It'll come back on you. Sometimes it doesn't infect the future generations. Sometimes it comes right back at you. You know what? I know somebody got a sad face. I know she might have got hurt, but she's giving us an example. I think she's okay. If she didn't die, it wouldn't be a gift. I mean, she died, it wouldn't be a gift. So she okay. She might have had a little reconstruct or something happening, but she's okay. But just from an example, sometimes when you live by the sword, what happens to you? You get smacked in the face by the sword. When you live by taking away your neighbor's rights because you don't like your neighbor, you don't like what they do with their yard or their house. When you live by taking your neighbor's rights because that's not a part of your culture, then you die by those rights. That's just what happens. When you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Great example. All right, I don't see. I don't see. I thought I posted it. Maybe I didn't post it. CIA whistleblower telling you that we grab kids, right? And it shouldn't surprise. It didn't surprise me largely because I used to work with. Oh, here we go. No, we found it. We found it. Houston, we got it. All right, let's show you this real quick. I used to work around the foster care system, so I'm not surprised by none of this.
And at the start of the meeting, he says, "Listen, before we meet, I want to tell you, I've given you everything. I've told you everything that's been
Y'all
true.
hear that?
You saved American lives. Now you're going to do something for me. You're going to go out and you're going to get me a prostitute right now, or I'm never cooperating with you again." So I want to see a show of hands. How many people would get him the prostitute?
He's saying he's in the CIA, he's got a job to do, and he's told by somebody he needs information from, one of our elites, that you're going to go get me a prostitute.
Some, not many. The answer is sure. I mean, you know, he's a scumbag, of course, but your job is to deal with scumbags, and you would be expected to go out and get him the prostitute. What if he asks for a child prostitute? Absolutely not, under any circumstances. But that's not the CIA talking, that's John Kirianik talking. Because there's no rule. Your job as a CIA case officer is to break the laws of the country that you're serving in. That's your job. Your job is to commit espionage, which in most countries is a death penalty crime. Your job is to convince people to commit treason for you because they like you so much, or they like the money that you're giving them so much. So, because it's the nature of your job to break the law, there are no rules that are written for you to carry out that job. Now, the problem there is that most CIA case officers would procure the child prostitute. And even if they felt funny about it, they would be told by headquarters, "You have a job to do. This is a bona fide source here. Go do your job." That's the problem, or the nature of the problem, of ethics and intelligence operations. There are no ethics in intelligence operations. I've come to the conclusion, after all these years, that there probably doesn't need to be a CIA.
I don't know where he's at. He cannot be in the United States of America because obviously people in the crowd understand that. He said there cannot be a CIA. And when Ron Paul and all the rest of them, JFK, when all the rest of them said it, there was no clap. Y'all thought they were crazy. No, I think it doesn't go far enough, and I'm going to let him finish before I say too much. But you need to watch this because people are still surprised by this, right? And you know, remember I see y'all posting how the people who talking about Pizzagate were crazy. They were crazy. See, I didn't think they were crazy. Unfortunately, I know what foster care is, and I know what Title IV is, and Bill Clinton wrote that. So I know that we have been a child trafficking nation from the very beginning, and we never stopped, all right? They just legislate. And that's why I make posts. People don't understand them. I say that everything from the dark ages, nothing changed. The only difference is now we wrote a law, and so now it's legal, 100%. He's telling you, he's a whistleblower. So, you know, you can put the math together however you want. And I appreciate Brother Jimmy's spot on with the point. There's no such thing as a child prostitute. There's somebody who is being raped. That's the bottom line. Bottom line. And guess what? All your 2020s are not trying to topple the system. They all agree with the system. So you think about that for a minute.
I think Jacob Capricornian was right in 1976 when he said that the CIA should be broken up. John Kennedy was right in 1963 when he said the CIA should be broken up.
A decorated 14-year veteran CIA agent has blown the whistle and made a public statement to expose the Central Intelligence Agency for operating a child trafficking ring that procures children for global elite pedophiles. Former spy John Kirianik, who also has deep ties to Hollywood from working as an advisor to the movie business, has revealed how the agency provides child sex slaves to powerful oligarchs in the entertainment industry, Washington, D.C., and beyond. Kirianik says that they have sources installed in the upper echelons of society, politics, and the movie business. In return for information, the CIA provides these elite sources with a steady stream of child prostitutes who are usually raped and killed, and most likely never seen again. Knowingly putting his life on the line to go public with this information, Kirianik made a public appearance to lift the lid on this horrific culture of child abuse. During his expose, he describes how he would meet an elite source in a hotel who would demand children in return for information. He reveals how he would secretly think of these so-called oligarchs as scumbags, but that he had to give them what they wanted. To emphasize.
And why would he give them what they wanted? Biscuits, and we give them the authoritah. Biscuits, putting bacon on the table, and everybody has to realize that I know you feel that you have a certain level of morality, ethics. At the end of the day, we are all capable of the same things given the right environments, given the right stimulus. And when you really understand neuroscience and what they're trying to explain to us, when you understand things like MK Ultra and what they can do to us, you'll understand that power cannot exist. That we give them the authority to do this, and they do it, and they're going to keep doing it, and it's going to continue to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Why? Because you got your 2020. All of my time, I see everybody how they're going to get their new person in that's going to keep the authority in the system, and things are going to get better. All I see is droit dur signeur. Okay? Everybody say it with me. Droit dur signeur. Okay? The Lord had rights and you don't. And you get the Lord rights, they're going to always take it to the nth degree, because that's what systems do. It's a system that's the problem. Right? It's not the powerful, it's the system. Fight the power, not the powerful. Police look powerful, they're not the problem. The guy who shows up to grab your wife looks powerful, they're not the problem. CIA shows up, they look powerful, they're not the problem, right? And I said that, right after I said get rid of the CIA, but you're not understanding at the level you need to when I say get rid of the CIA. I'm not saying the CIA is a name, like you could break it up, right? The CIA is full of people who are like the police. They were little kids who wanted to help. They were indoctrinated to do more harm than help. Our problem is the principle. Should any acronym group exist? Should there be, because what is power at the end of the day when it comes to information? Secrecy, right? It's the secrecy. When you have knowledge somebody else doesn't have, you have power over them because you know something that they don't know. So as long as a government, kings and lords have secrecy, they will always have power over the people. As long as the lords have Drake dig signeur, somebody in France probably like, the hell is wrong with this racist man? That's not even close to how, but anyway. As long as you give them secrecy, they have power, right? And this is how all of this stuff kind of works together, in my mind anyway. Like when you really start to think about what a system is, and a system that requires power to stay in place, and it requires a growth of power to get bigger. You have an oligarchy. You are infested with oligarchy, and you're voting and you're cheering like it's a democracy. Notice how MSN, the word anarchy, is always linked to the word chaos. I think that's everywhere, Rebecca. I think that's everywhere. I don't watch MSN. I don't even know what it stands for, but it's everywhere. From kids, we were shown anarchy is like crazy citizens blowing stuff up. Uh-oh. I see something in the news I like. I'm gonna do some comments first. If we need cooperation in our community, we will likely, all right, it's moving too fast. Indoctrinated into believing they're free. Yes, Courtney, we are indoctrinated to believe we're free, and we're completely not. And the more we say it, that's why every day I say I'm a captive. I don't say I'm a slave. I'm a captive. I don't have the mind of a lot of these people around here. I know that physically I can't go anywhere. Epstein was an extortionist. Yes, Jimmy, which is why Epstein is probably still alive, and if he's dead, he did not kill himself. I appreciate everybody making memes. I appreciate everybody making memes that are tricking people into knowing what is true, which is the fact that Epstein was a part of the system, right? When you see all the pieces of the puzzle coming together, you can start to accept that there is a puzzle outside of what you know. It's like yesterday, we talked about the 11 dimensions. How do we know there are 11 dimensions? Because we see the puzzle pieces. We use mathematics and forces and physics to determine that there's something there we can't see, right? And then we progress a science called quantum physics to try to figure it out, right? We progress in discussion to try to figure out what we can't see. When you got Pizzagate, you got Title 4E, you've got Epstein's, you've got CIA whistleblowers, you start to see that these are pieces of a puzzle that you don't have the whole picture of. That's a hint. Stop fighting with people who are fighting pedophilia. That's a hint that maybe government shouldn't have secrets. Let me see. Okay, Christine has it on her timeline. Thank you, Christine. It's because you care. Caring is sharing. No surprises on the pedo people. And then we let Epstein go. Right, Sandra, and he's probably down there with bin Laden. Like, does anybody believe bin Laden was killed on a submarine? After the submarine who was paid for by the people who created ISIS and Al-Qaeda, do you think that they put bin Laden on there and killed him and threw him in the ocean, right? Literally, the same people who made bin Laden, who paid to give the army and the Mujahideen, paid for the damn ship, and the SEAL 16 that went there, who all magically died in a helicopter crash. Does anybody believe that crap? Right, that's why I say it's about being an adult. And when you live in a world where you can't see the dimensions, you live in a world where the lords have the right to have total secrecy over you. All you can do is grab the puzzle pieces. You'll never have the full puzzle, but you'll grab the pieces and use a little common damn sense. And then you'll know enough to what isn't true. You won't know what's true, but you know what isn't true. 9/11 was not an outside job. It was not. It completely was not. Do I know it was inside? I know it had some damn inside help. I can't say it was total inside because we don't know. They lied to us about everything. They have the authority to lie to us about everything. And everyone's voting to give them more authority. So we have no idea what happened in 9/11. I just know the official story is not true. I have no idea who killed JFK. I know the official story is not true. I have no idea who killed Martin Luther King. Actually, I take that back. We do know who killed him, and he's a mechanic down in Alabama. He's still chilling. He's probably at Starbucks watching me right now. He's probably watching chilling, relaxing. Why? Because your government has the authority to murder you. They can shoot women in their house through the window. They can grab babies and give them to the elites. They can do anything they want to do because we keep giving the authority. We need to make this face right here. I know Brother John is here like, yeah, that's what we need, the revolution. His powder is dry. But no, we don't need that. We need something different. I'm not a violent revolutionary. I see where that goes. That's the same thing. That's why it's consciousness. That's why we got to focus on the consciousness, right? Forcing other people to do what you want them to do is the same thing that Epstein does. Right? Forcing other people on a different level. Forcing other people to do something they don't want you to do, what they don't want to do, that's what the federal government does. It's what the left does, it's what the right does. It's violation. You're violating basic, simple rights of leave people alone, right? And so you're doing it on a different level, but it's the same thing. So that's why I disagree with all violence, right? If it's a good idea, people will go with this. Is my violence right there. That's gotta be right, John. At a core level, revolutions don't change anything. They don't fix anything. They just kick the can down the road till you piss off someone else, and the children of the people you pissed off, they always come back. It's like that guy. Y'all remember that movie? What's the name of that guy? My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. That guy, Inigo Montoya. What's his name? I know I'm probably saying his name wrong today. I know the people mad. I don't know. What is he Latin? They probably mad at me too. Like, you can't pronounce French or Latin. My name is Inigo Montoya. Princess Bride. That's what it is. Princess Bride. Right? Because when you do a revolution, these are all good examples. Inigo. I'm gonna type in a Negro. Right? Because when you make a Negro, you make somebody a lesser. And you make someone a minority and you abuse them, they always come back. Their kids come back pissed off. And this is what explains the whole social justice warrior black lad. It explains all the angry people on that side. Right? Because my name is Inigo Montoya. You raped, enslaved, and killed my ancestors, so I can't see that they raped and killed and enslaved your ancestors too. Prepare to die. And that's what the social justice warriors are telling you. They're going after justice and they're not trying to fix the power of the system. Right? They want to take the power of the system to abuse somebody else with it. And that's the same revolutionary mindset. It's that revenge thing. And karma does what it does. You saw the woman with the coconut. That probably wasn't a coconut. That was a coconut, she'd be dead. No, it wasn't white phosphorus either. It was a melon. Came right back in her face. Roosters always come home. Always come home. Always come home. And the worst part about it is when it doesn't come home for you. That's the bad part. when it comes home for your kids and your grandkids and da-da-da-da-da. My name is a Negro Montoya. Everybody say it together. Don't say that. Don't say that. Cause the blacks will get you. Don't. It was a quite upset bunch. All right, quite upset bunch who still believe in the king's colors. But it's about consciousness. It's about understanding everybody becomes who they will become by their environment. And we got to stop fighting over birth. We got to stop fake fights and animated fights. We got to stop with the revenge from a couple hundred years ago and focus on where we want the kids to be in 20 years. We need to prioritize them more than ourselves. We need to prioritize their needs more than our ego and our revenge needs. We need to let the past go. Let the past go. I'm telling you, it's funny as people they just don't seem to get it. A lot of people don't get it. It's like they'll say things that, oh, you're living in the past. Really? Now you keep talking about what happened 300 years ago, 400 years ago, 800 years ago. Everybody got gripes because everybody's been enslaved and everybody's people been abused by some empire or something. They can't see. They can't see. All right, let's look at the old. Let's see what's in the old. What's in the old? Because we're already late. I gotta get out of here. I thought I saw something that looked interesting at the top. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. Oh, it changed. I missed it. Well, there was something I thought that looked. Is anything interesting in here? Anything that looks like it might be new? You know what I'm saying? When I say I'm looking for news, let me move Cartman down. Respect my authority. When I say I'm looking for something that's new, that's what. When I look at the news, I'm not looking for what's old. I'm looking for something new, right? Human conflict is not new. That's old. Anything that's trying to get me to be in conflict with somebody else or use force or laws or vote over them or that's old. I lived it, seen it, been there, rode the ride, got the shirt, get the coconuts, and got the embroidery on the cup. Don't need to do that no more. I'm looking for something that might be new. Breaking. Oh, it's breaking. Oh, breaking might mean that's new. Economic protests erupt in developed nations. That is not new. And that's old as hell. Old as hell. People don't like economics. Economics are not for you. They're for kings and lords. It's to funnel the wealth to a few people. So you can have Chelsea Clintons who don't want to live in your nation, don't want to raise their kids around you silly monkeys, that are actually driven to be mentally ill and fight with your neighbor. Let me see, Hong Kong protests break their promise. Okay, well, that's not new. You know, people protest. Anytime somebody's protesting, usually it means that somebody's taking their rights. And you've got other people around that are proudly and happily taking their rights, like a left or a right. Chile privatization. Experiment breaks down. You shouldn't be doing privatization. That's not new. Kings always had coffers that ran them. Kings always had popes and religions that ran them. And when they didn't, the kings did. And I'm not interested in having kings, leaders in churches or coffers or corporations or any of that. So no, nothing should be privatized. Right? Economies can't exist. Anytime you have money, you'll have slavery because money is a representation of human labor. The two are inseparable. You either have anarchy or you have slavery. There is no such thing as government. There's no such thing as feudalism. There's no such thing as any of that. It all ends up in enslavement. It's all about taking people, making them forced labor because of where they were born and not letting them go live free. The redneck on the mountain want the same damn thing that the person in the hood wants. They want to be left the hell alone and opportunity. That's it. They want some land. They want the things that government will never, ever give up willingly. Your freedom. Is Netanyahu finished? And not just politically. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. I know some of y'all in the Netanyahu fight. Doesn't really matter. It's not about him. It's not about him. He's like the messenger too. It's not about him. It's a bigger issue than that. The bigger issue is everybody's involved in the fight. You got multiple sides that are fighting over land that was promised to them by a king in Britain who didn't even live over there. Okay? You're either working on a solution or you're involved in the fight. They get rid of Netanyahu, they'll bring somebody else in. All right? We're either making solutions or we're making the problem worse. Same thing. Same thing. People are born there and they're going to want to live there. And you got an issue with that, then you got a fight on your hands. And once again, seeking to violate people or seeking to solve problems. I'm a problem solver. I'm an innovator. I've done that my whole life. That's why I can't get bogged down in like joining a team or a side. You got a solution. Fix the problem. Understand the root problem and solve it. Do your research. The root problem is not Orange Man bad. The root problem is not Jew man bad neither. The root problem is not white man bad. The root problem is not black man bad. The root problem is not immigrant man bad, right? The root problem is all men are bad. Every last one of them. Y'all should get a world of women. All right, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. That's that's bad as what we got now. Yeah, no, maybe slightly less bad. I don't know. All right, anyway. Groomed by Russia, Clinton maligns fellow Democrats. That's old. There's nothing new there. Watch. Crashes ravage power boating Grand Prix of something. No, that's not new. We don't use technology to make boats safer. We use technology to put big cannons on boats and blow up other nations because we still believe in colonization and destroying things. So of course boats will crash because we're not interested in them being safe. We literally use all technology to make sure that it's an unsafe condition. We use the height of technology, most engineers, to blow up things and murder people, to make massive metal weapons to go over to other nations and murder them because people here need their health care and they need some walls. Students out of school, the Chicago teachers strike. I don't think school should exist. You might disagree with me. I changed my mind on this one. I don't think, I think if you believe a school should exist, it should. I think that home parenting is probably better than schools. I only see them as indoctrination institutions now, besides they're designed like the prison system. I completely disagree with them. Outside of the fact, I say that, we need to give schools back to the principals and the teachers, we do. But we also need to give education back to the communities and the parents. So yeah, I don't think kids should be required to go to school because some kids are beyond your school. Some kids are beyond your education. Some kids are beyond you and they'll become smarter if you don't break them and make them a clone and make them think the way that you do. We need kids to be individual, critical thinking, powerful creatures. And school ruins that. There's some that need to go to school. Some fit in, some fit in. Right? We need to have teachers because some kids go to school and they don't mind sitting on their butt for 8 hours being dictated to. I like home parenting though. I think I did. If I can go back in history, I would home parent. I think I would. And let me tell you why. I got into a great discussion yesterday. With home parenting, most parents are afraid to home parent, probably because they don't think they can teach all the subjects. And that's a good thing. That actually is a good thing. Why is that a good thing? Well, because you get to something that you don't understand, like me, in new math. I can't do new math. I can't do new math, and I ain't even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try. When the kids had trouble, I sent them to their mama. I'm not doing new math because I don't like old math. My father's a mathematician. I don't like the damn math. But the good thing is, if I was homeschooling, I'd have to learn it. It means that I would run into something that I don't understand and I didn't know. And that's why parents don't want to homeschool, because they like to pretend they're God. They don't want to be wrong in front of their kids. They don't have kids, they got slaves. They're just like the government. It's no different. The kids aren't free. The kids can't question them. They tell their kids to do something and they say, just because. Authoritah. Respect my authority. And that's why parents mostly don't want to homeschool, outside of the fact they're slaves and they got a forced labor society. They got to go to work, pick their cotton, but they don't want to be wrong because they convince children that they're right all the damn time. How is that any different from government? How is that? That's not raising a child, that's breaking a child. You don't want to give your child your indoctrination. You don't want to give them your problems. You don't want to indoctrinate them to be dumb as you are. You want to free them to be free creatures. It's like Sadhguru said, you don't own kids. You just got here first. Don't be arrogant. Don't act like you know it all. You don't know it all. And it would be good to homeschool so they can see how dumb you are. It's good to see how dumb you are. I tell you, I raised some crazy thinking kids, some critical, they questioned me everywhere. Which was a good thing. It was a good thing. I could have got them to question me more, but I didn't understand this till I got older. It's a good thing to have kids who realize their parents aren't know-it-alls. Their parents are know-it-alls. They don't know it all. They just know-it-alls. Just like the government is. The Democrats and Republicans, they know it all. All right, let's keep going. That's not new. That's not new. You should not have school. Kids, there's some kids who need to be outside. They need to learn outside. They don't need to be learning in prison and in slave classrooms where they can't get up and run and play and breathe fresh air and be around some plants. And plus there's some kids who don't need that higher education. Some kids, their brains work better by having hands-on tasks, right? Now, do you get what I'm saying when it comes to that? In terms of neurons and how the brain develops, and the neuroscientists, the people that we just never listen to because the government's always right, the know-it-all, that don't listen to the neuroscience, how your brain develops, and early on in life it develops the most, that if you free kids and they're exposed to wild, crazy things that they have passions to do,
their brain develops in a way that makes that passion more productive instead of math, science, and English, right? Everybody can't be math, science, and English. You know why we focus on math, science, and English? Y'all know why, right? You know why? Greek fire. Greek fire. Because math, science, and English need to make massive metal weapons that shoot Greek fire and murder people. These people are colonized. They want to go colonize and blow something up and steal somebody's resources. That's why they have your kids there. And they treat them like they're in a prison system. Why? Because they need them to pay attention and keep working, even when they're sad and upset, right? What do the kids do? You know, the kid gets sick, you send him to the nurse. What does the nurse do? Give him some Tylenol, get your butt back in class. Go get some A's, get back in class. You got Greek fire to make. You need to go on back to class. Go on, you can rest for a minute, then you go back. Same, and what they do as adults, right? They go to work one day and they're having some issues, they go take that Tylenol. Get back in there, work for the crown. Pick them cottons. We got to build metal weapons for the crown. We got to work on this GDP. Slavery, you indoctrinate and break them from the very beginning. All right, Parliament is overdue to rescue Halloween Brexit. Okay, well that's not new, that's old. China trade war with Beijing is not a currency. Wait a minute, it's not a currency manipulator. Currency shouldn't exist, so I'm gonna call that old too. We shouldn't be talking money anymore. We shouldn't be talking new currency, old currency, or competing currency. We should be talking a world with no currency. We don't need it anymore. We literally don't need it anymore. Please tell me you're educated on the fact that when you have 3D printing that can print houses, cars, and cell phones, you don't need money. You need to grow the hell up and make sure your neighbor has what you want. And they have what they, especially what they need. And when they have that, they become pleasant. And then they fight for you to have what you need. And everybody's driving Ferraris. We ain't got nothing to worry about. But a lot of people don't understand that. They have no grasp of technology. They don't realize what currency is. They have no idea what an economic system is. And they're an economic major. They have a job to do. They're an accountant, so they have to believe it. I thought I saw something important. It fell away. Wait a minute. Let me hold on. Who was a veteran? A veteran saying we're tired of policing the world. Now this is old. The veterans are tired. They've been fighting since the Napoleonic. Actually, they've been fighting since the Huns and the Roman Empire. They're tired. The veterans are tired. They want y'all to solve your problems with your brains, not with your brawn. They're tired of the patriarchal world. The veterans want to come home, which is why I say the left and the right need to get together, take an Uber, go on down to the airport, make sure that the planes land, stop fighting for the war in Syria, end it, and make sure that they don't reroute the troops to land somewhere else to go rob, kill, steal somebody else. We got to listen to the veterans. But there was something else. You know what? I gotta click on that. I gotta click on it out of respect for the veterans. I come from a military family, and I empathize with those boys and girls who just wanted to serve in the military, serve their country, and we, the adults, require them to go fight, die, and kill for corporations so they can pay for our health care. We gotta follow the veterans.
We start this afternoon in Syria, where the window on a 120-hour ceasefire is coming to a close.
22 a day.
But the troops are still on the move. Now, Syrian forces have made their way into Turkey's self-described safe zone along the Turkish border in the towns of Kobani and Manbij. Meanwhile, after President Trump announced his plan to pull all troops out of Syria, according to Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, there is a plan to keep U.S. troops at Al-Tanf and near Syrian oil fields. Now, according to the Washington Post, the plan is designed to keep oil and lost territory out of ISIS, Syrian, and even Iranian hands. And this weekend, video was caught of Kurds hurling produce at U.S. troops moving out of the area. Now, they were upset at the withdrawal and hurled potatoes. President Trump maintains he's made a promise to end American wars and has this to say at a cabinet meeting earlier today.
They're no angels, but we help the Kurds. And we never gave the Kurds a commitment that we'd stay for the next 400 years and protect them. They've been fighting with the Turks for 300 years that people know of. And nobody ever committed, gee, if you do this, we're going to do that, we're going to stay with you forever. Nobody ever said that.
So to go further in depth, we turn to military policy analyst and Air Force Security Forces veteran, David Sharp. Thank you so much for joining us, David.
Scotty, thanks for having me. How are you? I
am doing lovely, but I'm still trying to figure out the strategy from President Trump's issues in Syria over the last few weeks. So that's why I'm bringing you on. You're really good at helping us kind of decipher what he's trying to do. So I need to talk about first about Erdogan and what makes him any different from other leaders. And if he is such a danger, why is he allowed to be in NATO and an ally to the United States?
Well, first and foremost, he hasn't necessarily been on the radar, right? So how do you get on the radar? Like you did in North Korea and Iran. You start saying outrageous claims like, I want the bomb, I want a nuke.
Well, it's interesting you talk about this nuke because the U.S. has around 50 B-61 gravity bombs in storage at Incirlik Air Force Base in Turkey. You know, I have to wonder, why are they still there considering these are all relics from the Cold War? I think it's kind of like leaving a loaded gun on your bedside table. You don't know when, but there's probably a good chance something bad is going to happen if there are children around. So how sure are we that the U.S. will even be able to keep these bombs secure and even transport them if they want them out of the country?
Well, first and foremost, Scotty, that's assuming that we are thinking that all U.S. troops are out of Turkey, right? I can assure you they're not. That's not how the military operates in these type of parameters.
Nope.
We have special forces units on ground where Turkey doesn't even know that we're operating there. So trust me, those nukes are protected. They're U.S. assets, we're not leaving them behind.
Well, but
And the CIA just told you their job is to break the law, literally. Their job is espionage. Their job is to not respect the laws of your land or anybody else's land. Their job is to get the job done. That's why you can't have a CIA.
I have to wonder, why do we still have them in Turkey if they're so powerful, which we know they are? Why are they still in a country that we're not even 100% on the same page with all the times?
Turkey provides such a very good strategic location in case something were to kick off, of course, in Syria, Iran, Iraq even. We have those locations there and they're tied down because in case something happens in those lands, we are protected. Turkey's protected. They know this. They are not going out and saying this, that we have our nukes in their country still, but they are there. U.S. assets are there, protecting those nukes, and I can assure you that if something were to go down, Turkey's going to come right back to us and President Trump and needing help.
Well, then let's talk about President Trump. And do you see him pulling this small amount of soldiers, and it's been everywhere from 30 to 50 to 500 to 1,000, out of this area? Some are saying it's kind of a retreat. Or do you see it more as refusing to get into a war and defend land inside another country's border?
What the president's doing here, what President Obama should have done in 2015, was instead of telling Assad at the time, who was the president of Syria, is, well, if you do something, we're going to strike back with nuclear force. And instead, Assad did strike back with biological weapons, and he killed 1,400 people. Now, did President Obama do anything at the time? No, because John Kerry made an off-the-state remark as the Secretary of State saying, well, if Assad turns over to nuclear weapons, then we'll go ahead and not do our airstrikes, right?
All right, I'm done. I can't watch it anymore. I'm done. I can't watch. I want to let the veteran speak, and he's right on some things, but there's obviously some side picking in here. As an innovator, I'll tell you how my mind works. And it actually keys in what Rebecca asked, in terms of we can't just get rid of money in this system. What do people in Turkey want? Same thing what people in Alabama want. Same thing what people in Venezuela want. Same thing what people in New York want. The same thing what people in Palestine want. The same thing what people in the Congo want. They want to be left the hell alone. They want food, they want a house, they want to live a good life, and they want freedom. We can provide all of that. That's why I'm saying money doesn't have to exist. I mean, in this current system, yes, you need to make money or you are going to prison. If you live in America, you make money or you die for right now. That's why survival of the fittest can't continue to exist. If you don't make money in the third world nation and build up a military and get some anti-American airplane flew by Rothschild and Rockefeller projects to blow up your land and knock down your buildings and destroy your infrastructure so they can steal your resources. If you don't make money and have that, and have your citizens in forced labor camps providing a GDP to defend your country, hell yeah, you're gonna have problems. The left and the right, they always get into this whole, well, how do we solve conflicts around the world? And they pretend they know the answer, but they use no common damn sense. No common damn sense. I'm an innovator. For me, everything is about solve the problem. What is the root problem? Why are people in conflict with other people? And it's always energy and resources. Energy is unlimited. Resources are pretty much unlimited. We have an unlimited supply of Ferraris that we can 3D print. Okay, we can make pool. You want to end the struggle between the Turks and the Kurds? I honestly don't even remember the history of what started it. I really don't even care. Turks are like rednecks, are like people in the hood, are like people in the barrio, are like people in wealthy communities. If they have everything that they need, they have everything that they want, most 99.9% are willing to leave everybody alone. But when you take something away, you can get them to go do something. So, if the left and the right, they wanted to end world conflicts, all they got to do is feed the world. You want to destroy the whole Turk and Kurd conflict, to start feeding their people. Start sending in ship after rice and with water and with 3D printing software, and start giving away technology, start open sourcing 3D printing and how to grow hemp and make robots that grow food. You start just giving that stuff away, there's no more war. There's no more work. There's no reason for people to go to work. People don't go to work and provide forced labor for those who are trying to invade and build empires. You can't fuel war. If people don't go to work because they have everything they need, they go back to almost a tribal living where they literally just like find things in life they love to do and they do them. They fall in love, they have kids, and they raise kids. They don't do anything for kings and lords and empires. Nobody has authority over them because they don't need anybody to have authority. They got everything that they need. That's the amazing thing about automation today and innovation. Probably 80% of the jobs that people do are useless jobs. They're just jobs for human conflict. They're jobs to take away something from somebody else. That's it. Or they're jobs to count the money for what they're taking away from somebody else. Or they're jobs to make things from what they steal from other people. And we know we don't have to do that anymore. You free people, all the war stopped. But they don't want to do that, right? Because they believe in conflict themselves. They like sides. They pick sides to fight other people. You want to end world conflict, feed the world. Free the world. Free humans, and humans become peaceful, pleasant creatures. If you keep them in conflict, you can make a lot of money. It's always about authority. So I always got Cartman, but that brother, he done got it. I can't believe that a brother made out of 4 cartoon colors, 4 Crayola colors. He got blue and aquamarine and some pink, and he done figured out what the damn grown adults can't figure out. And we all know this. When you leave people alone, they won't go do. This is why all American kids are born into debt. Why? Because they want them to look like this. They want them to be like this, getting A's and fighting for jobs to push the poor people down, right? That's how it works. When you leave people alone, they're pretty shiftless. They're pretty shiftless when it comes to leaders, but they're doing important things. They're doing their passions. And when people do their passions, great things happen. All right, school shouldn't exist. Homeschooling brings back independent thinking. Right, Christina, that's my point. Because when you have independent thinking, you have parents that are teaching kids how to think because they don't have to go to work. Then all the kids think differently. Then you have like this diversity. When you have real diversity, that's when you have a really productive society. You have amazing things being created. But when you create every child in the same image, you make them all clones of the same people, the same Department of Education, you basically stop technology moving forward almost. You don't create independent critical thinking minds that can solve problems in multiple ways. You don't create diversity, you create a bunch of slaves, a bunch of zombies. Protect kids as best you can, Lori, and that's what we all have to do. Most don't because they can't afford to, sadly. I don't know where that is, Megan. I'm getting down in comments. Let me see. Not only we had to go to school, we had to sit with hands behind our backs. Oh, you got a good education though. Ooh, Ivana, I remember that. I'm trying to remember, why did they make us sit with hands behind our backs? There was some situation. I remember there was, I don't know, maybe I was Jim, I don't know what it was. But they treated you like the prison system. You walked in lines and you had to respect authority, and the teacher was always right. And the teacher stayed on one subject, so they knew everything, and they taught us this indoctrinated thing that leaders are always right, that we have to always do what we're told, that we have to listen to the Chelsea Clintons, that we got to listen to the Trumps and Obama, that we don't question authority because authority is always right. And this is why people are blaming the police right now, because they're not questioning the leaders writing the laws. They're questioning the other poor people who carry the guns who are trying to feed their kids by being police. People aren't questioning the CIA or the NSA, Homeland Security. They're going after the people who show up. They're not going after the people who actually write the laws and who make the orders. Because we're trained to do that. We are literally like dogs in schools, trained to shut up, sit down, hands behind your back, and listen. And anyone who disobeys that, who's free, that's why they have a prison system. If you're a free thinker, you got one place to go: prison. But if you follow the indoctrination and you listen to the authority, you ignore your Bill of Rights, your Constitution, human freedom, standing up for your neighbor's rights so you can have rights too, you're gonna end up in prison. That's how it goes. We're indoctrinated to do that. I think the concept of children getting together for school is a good concept. They learn from each other and learn from social skills, especially those who don't have siblings. And I agree, Megan, I'm not saying there really shouldn't be a school. I'm saying that there should be no forced model, right? There's some days the kids want to go and some days they shouldn't go, right? There are more things they can learn in the forest. There are more things that they can do. But like having a society that requires children show up from this time to this time and they can go outside during this time, that's a slavery-based system. That's an indoctrination engine. That's how you break children, not free them. Kids already know what they want to do. We don't need to time them. They already know what they need to learn. We don't actually need to force them. We need to empower them and free them. It's like the discussion I got into yesterday. The lady, she was talking about her husband, saying, yeah, we're thinking about having kids, young couple. And the husband's like, yeah, it would be interesting to raise a kid and teach him everything that I know and something to the effect of making a clone out of him. See if I can make an upgrade of myself. I'm like, yeah, but teaching them everything you know is not making them an upgrade. Like, you're giving them your religion, you're giving them your nation, you're giving them your race, you're giving them your struggles, you're giving them your problems. That's not training a child up to be free. That's making a carbon copy of you that fights better than you. You're doing what the school system's doing. I just think kids should be free. Right? We should give them everything that we have to offer and let them be free. So some days if they want to go to school, let them go. Some days they don't, and then don't. You need money in this system, Gerard, and you don't use it. And you wouldn't use it, or you wouldn't use it. Well, you do need money today, Rebecca, or you go to prison, but I use as little as possible. I make as little as possible. I literally make sure that everything I was indoctrinated to do, used to work in corporate America, made big money. I could have been doing really well right now. I've decided that that's not the life I want. I don't want slaves, and I don't want a statement of how many slaves I got in the bank from an ATM. It's not easy, but I've decided there's more important things in life than money. I decided there's more important things. You know what, Rebecca? I don't like things controlling me. I have a problem with cartman. I have a problem with cartman. I learned this from a very young age. I don't like authority. I decided. I didn't understand it till I was an adult. I don't like authority. I don't like control. You want me to do something, then you tell me not to do it, and I'll go do it. But if you tell me what not to do, hell no. I don't like how money controlled me. I don't like it. I don't like the people how it controlled other people, and I don't want it to control me. And there is something spiritual about money. There's something spiritual about having a thing, whether it's coins, money, whatever it is, attached to forced human labor. I'm more of a spiritual guy than I've ever been. And I think there's something damning, there's something karmatic about owning slaves and having a cushy lifestyle based on owning forced labor currency. I don't like how it controls me. I don't like what it does. I think there's something spiritually negative that thrives in. So you got to get rid of money. And money's going away. It doesn't really matter what I say. Money is it was just for human labor. Now they have robots, so eventually they're going to delete it and it's gone. But you got to survive today, but we don't have to be billionaires. That's my point. Your comfortable level might be having $1 million. But then, I think people should get to their comfortable level, live within whatever means they need to, and everything else they should be investing in the future generation. They should be paying it forward, not stacking it in the bank account. Because like there's a saying, more money, more problems. It's a real thing. But why? Why is it that the wealthy, and this is in general, the wealthiest people I tend to know tend to be the most apathetic people I know. Not always. Some of the wealthy people I know, they have big hearts, or they seem like it anyway. Money does something to your soul, I think. So I don't think, we have to survive in this system, but we always want to think about where do we want to go and keep walking in that direction, right? If we want to keep walking down human conflict road, then we should keep praising money. If we want to end human conflict, which is what the conflict is always about, it's about energy, power, authority, then we should say, hey, the goal is that this has got to go, and it needs to go in the time we say it's got to go, not when our elites and bankers decide they want to flip it because they don't need it anymore because they got robots to do the work. That's what I'm saying. Let me see. Good morning, people just coming in. When is anyone 100% on the same page? Are we 100% on the same page as our government? Kim, me and the government, we're probably about 99% not on the same page. I disagree with the whole model of authority. I disagree with the whole model of anyone telling me what to do, anyone leading me. I'm okay with them allocating resources and kind of sending, making sure everybody has what they need, which is what I think that they should be for, but that's not what they do. They get more numbers together and they decide which rights of mine to vote away, which things are going to take away from me. And I don't think that's governing. I think that's ruling. So I have nothing in common with them. Not really. Very little. 1%. Pretty much all their decisions are bad decisions. Pretty much everything they say, every talking point is a side effect, not a root problem. And I think you really need some help. People who can't see that really need some help. Does anyone agree 100%? No, Kim, and no one should agree 100%. Kim, if you meet somebody and they agree 100% with you, they're playing you. They're lying to you. Nobody should. Everybody should disagree. Everybody. And everybody should welcome disagreement because you learn from disagreement. That's how iron sharpens iron. Is why I got friends who still vote for Trump. I got friends who gonna vote for the next Chelsea. I got friends who vote for Bernie. I got friends who just from all different aspects because that's the only way I learn. I need people who disagree with me. That makes me smarter. When I'm surrounded by people who agree with me, I become a pod person. And what's the point of living if you don't learn anything? Like, what's the point of living if you don't change? What's the point of living if you're right all the time? And you're surrounded by people who think you're right. I'm more interested in learning anything else. All right. How about every country gets rid of their nuclear weapons? I don't know, Susan. That sounds too humane. that sounds too logical. But then again, asteroids might come. I don't think the nuclear weapons are bad. I think dropping them on people is bad. I think maybe they can save us in the future. I'm all for technology, but if every nuclear weapon has like people's names on it, all the American nukes have Venezuela and China and Russia, then that's when the problems kind of come in. We're not using weapons for our cousins, we're using weapons to murder our cousins. They're just tools. I don't like the word weapon, it's just a tool. It's like the first bow and arrows. Like somebody said the other day, said guns are made to kill people. So actually, no, they're not. No, they're not. Because what is a gun? A gun is the furthering of the technology of a bow and arrow, furthering the technology of a spear. And why do we make those? Not to kill people. We came from wise people. They made them to hunt. They made them so they could feed their tribes, so they can feed their babies. Before they knew they could grow food and they didn't have to eat meat. So no, guns aren't made to kill people. Neither, so that whole line, it's made to, I don't know, I'm trying to link gun to nuke. I don't know if it's gonna work. But it came from a line of helping each other, right? Technology, we made it, we made all technology in wiser times to make our lives easier, to make our lives better. And we stopped doing that because maybe we figured out making life easier is even easier if we just murder people and steal what they have instead of us getting better at what we do. And so we blow up nations and we destroy governments because it's easier to rob people than to do it ourselves. So yeah, nuke is a weird thing, but we can possibly use them to do good things in the future. But guns aren't, right? Guns, you can save lives with these things. You can hunt with these things. You can do a lot of things. It's just technology. But I think you also have a point on the whole nuclear proliferation thing, which is pretty funny. The government that has the most nuclear weapons on the planet is nuclear proliferating. They have no interest in proliferation. Their interest is only domination and destruction. This is what the Venus Project is about. Is that right? Exactly, Brother Adam. I don't know, that's where we met. But if y'all don't know what the Venus Project is, you need to look at it. Take care of people. The Venus Project's put together by people like me, or people who have like my mindset and like my friends here with IT backgrounds. We're innovators. We solve problems. We're not out there to cause problems because they're profitable. We want to solve problems, and we have the technology to solve the problem, but you won't let us. We want to solve your illness. You ever see that scene? I did a little while ago. The end of I Am Legend. I'm trying to help you. This is what the Venus Project and Zeitgeist movement are about, trying to help people, not just rob them. Although I will say there was something in the news, I swear I saw something that dealt with archaeology. Oh, here you go. I wanted to show this. This is what I wanted to show. I thought I saw it for a moment and disappeared. I do want to show this real quick.
Something else we want to tell you about tonight. After 150 years, researchers...
I don't want to show it. It's that, to me, it's new when we discover things that are from our past. If we don't know where we're from, then we don't know where we're going. So that's why I love archaeology.
Have finally uncovered an ancient city in Cambodia that was one of the first capitals in the Khmer Empire. RT's Trinity Chavez has the story.
For centuries, the ancient city of Mahendrapavarta has been buried deep within a Cambodian jungle. The once mighty metropolis was one of the first capitals of the Khmer Empire, which ruled in Southeast Asia between the 9th and 15th centuries. But while the city was sometimes referred to as the lost city of Cambodia, others say the city was never lost, but actually hidden. The sprawling city of Mahendrapavarta has long been rumored to exist, but has been hidden for centuries by the lush jungle of modern-day Cambodia. Over the last 150 years, researchers observed nearly 600 newly discovered remnants of the ancient civilization, which included shrines, a royal palace, and even a pyramid-shaped temple. But
interesting empire. It obviously wasn't a good thing. What we got today. So they murdered a bunch of people. People who know their past, they can control their future. You have no sense of self. You're not living for you. You're certainly not living your authentic you. But we've been involved in this conflict and struggle from the very beginning. Now, I was hoping this was something like ancient, pre-Adamite type stuff. I don't think it is. But this is a good example of the whole who was a slave. Everybody was a slave. Who was conquered? Everybody was conquered. We've been in this human struggle of murdering people and robbing them and making slaves out of them from the very beginning. And so this is feudalism, kings and lords, palaces, Chelsea Clintons, it's all the same thing, right? That has not stopped. We need to stop this. And you stop it by stop giving them authority.
But they didn't have enough evidence to support the link until now. The new research published by Cambridge University has confirmed the location of Mahendrapavarta in a Cambodian mountain range called Phnom Kulen. The researchers said in a statement, despite knowing that the Phnom Kulen mountains likely hid traces of a Khmer capital city, archaeologists have had difficulty accessing the region. The mountains are covered in dense vegetation, and they were one of the last strongholds of Khmer Rouge guerrillas until the 1990s. Landmines and unexploded ordnances continue to pose a threat to communities living and working in the mountains and complicate archaeological research. Archaeologists have...
You're not gonna key on that one, because that's sites all around the world. They got the LiDAR and they can go find all these sites now, and some of them you can't get through because of bombs and just all the ignorant, stupid stuff that we do all around the world, making archaeology hard, making it hard to go back and discover real history, because we're constantly involved in conflict. And this is what ISIS that was doing it? They were blowing up sites in Egypt. This is why it's a bad idea that the CIA made them. And y'all can get mad, I'm gonna say it. Trump is doing the same thing Obama was doing, so I'm waiting for y'all to start calling him Muslim Brotherhood, right? None of that stopped. But it's not an anti-Trump thing, it's not an anti-Obama thing, it's just understanding that that's what the system requires. It's an oligarchical system. But it's a shame that we can't even reconnect back to our history because there's so many bombs littering this planet. There's a place, is it France or Europe, where people can't even go there. They just took all the bombs and ordnance from World War II, and I think one, and just put them all over this big old field, and people can't even go to that town anymore. Or that they dropped so many they can't go. I think it's France. But it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. And the sick thing is the people who are voting for this, they're like fighting for ecosystems and climate change.
Been trying to rediscover the ancient city for centuries, but was extremely difficult to find because the site had been covered with dense trees that make it hard to observe. In fact, archaeologists...
Imagine that. And that's another thing that's got me on. Because I like looking back. Atlantis was a real place. Ancient archaeology is a real deal. We come from people who had immense abilities in technology. And we're not even taking our collective resources and doing sentient things with them. Rediscovering the people we came from, the technology they had, who we even are. But we're murdering people who live in those places. We're murdering and we're starving them for resources of today. We could imagine if we took the war efforts, all these hundreds of billions and billions of dollars, and actually use them for something decent, discovering who self is and discovering people who we've come from.
Just had to harness laser technology to locate the mysterious city. So the researchers combined airborne laser scans and ground surveys, and with this technology, they were able to find it. The city is arranged in a giant grid, which would make Mahendrapavarta one of the first engineered landscapes of the era. But until recently, according to the researchers behind the paper, the area has received little attention. Now that the civilization has a confirmed location, it could give new insight into how cities were built more than 1,000 years ago. Reporting in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
And I think that's important too. How were cities built 1,000 years ago? Because this building's still standing from 800 years ago. And the 7 home builders in the United States, they can't build a house that stands for 20 years. A lot of things when you look back. All right, let me see. Oh, you want to hear some effed up elementary school stuff? When we were bad, they'd send us to the broom room. What? Which was the janitor's closet. Little children being disciplined by the janitor. Well, Patricia, that doesn't surprise me. I don't even know. I don't even want to touch that one. What did the janitor do to children in a broom closet? It's authority. You give the school authority, interesting things are going to happen. Then I can see a bunch of psychopaths wanting to go be janitors. Let me do some comments. Prison or plantation? Well, I think the prison is the plantation, Adam. I think that we're still talking about the school system. It's a prison or a plantation. Well, I think it's more modeled after a prison so it can support the plantation, right? They make clones and slaves so that they won't object to forced labor, so they'll go out and support the plantation's GDP. That's what I think. Let me see. Most kids need structure. Only a few are independent and focused from early age. You know what, Ivan? I disagree. I think most kids need to just be kids. I don't think they need structure. I think all they need, if we were like a free society and we like really got rid of like our slavery indoctrination minds, why does any creature need to be forced to do anything? If we have the resources to feed kids, to house them, make them safe, why can't they just go be kids? Why do they need structure? Like, what is it that they need to do other than breathe and be them? I think we should free them. I like, who gives a hummingbird structure? Who gives a cockroach structure? Who gives mice structure? Nothing. They're free. They're literally free. And we are the first generation in modern times anyway that can free the next generation. Like, I disagree with the idea of structure. Like, I know that I have structure, I know, but they use that to make me a slave. And I don't like that. I want the next generation, if a kid wants to go just be a musician, then why do they need to do the things that I want them to do? Like, there's a greater existence than serving the GDP. There's a greater existence than getting a job and making money for corporations. I just think kids should be free. Only safety, morality, and health rules my house. Sounds good, Kim. That's what it should be. I think. Everyone can rule the house how they want to. I just think that, love is the answer, and love doesn't come from forcing anybody to do anything. My daughter had major anxiety and behavioral issues in and out of the mental health system. Happy to say she made it through. Hardest job I ever had, being a mom. even to just one. A lot of things there, Megan, a whole lot of things. We know a lot of the mental illnesses that people have are environmental and social. They come from laws and legislation. They come from giving people structure that they don't want. A lot of the problems with the young men is because they're not designed for school. They're not designed to sit in a chair and be drugged and read books. We spent more time in the wilderness hunting and running and doing things and getting rid of that energy. Like half of this whole ADHD thing, right? It's just all based in boys wanting to be boys, and we're forcing them to be slaves and indoctrinated, and that's wrong. To me, it's all wrong. So a lot of the mental illness comes from authority, because it's the authority that poisons our water, allows corporations to do it, and the food and the air. So that's where a lot of the mental illness comes from. And I think we can get rid of a lot of mental illness, Megan, if we stopped giving them the authority to destroy our ecosystems and the things that we need. But then also anybody that's born with some sort of a mental illness, like it takes a village to raise a child. There's no reason why being a parent should be hard, right? We just have to give a damn more. And we don't, unfortunately, we're not in societies that give a damn. But we got to free up the resources from artificial problems so we can apply those resources to real problems, like the autism, right? We know that's environmental. The doctors even say it now, right? So we know it's coming from the environment. It's coming from our oligarchy. We're being poisoned into the disease. And so it breaks the healthcare system, so we can't help parents who are struggling with this. And nobody should struggle with it. We need to get rid of the artificial problems, the artificial diseases that are profitable, so we can help the people who have the real issues, right? And I think that's what you do when you love kids. I think you look for the root problem and you solve it. Same thing when how this started out with the whole kids being shot by police. If you actually give a damn about them, you'll stop talking about the police and you will start talking about who wrote the laws that sent grown people with weapons to deal with the population. A population they're supposed to serve. You know, but short of that, it's just an ego thing. It's people, they have an ego, they have a point to make. It's racism. Right? It's just, you know, they don't like us in this area because of this, that, or the other, or the sheriff doesn't like my family, or whatever. Like everybody's got their little ego thing that they go off on. And the people who were murdered by this have nothing to do with that. If anything, they would have preferred that they weren't killed. So how about we go after the people who gave them the authority, took the rights, gave the authority to cause the problem. Let me see. Having money is a matter of survival in modern society. We might move past it eventually, right? And that's my point, Ivana. Like it's a requirement that should happen. Somebody would be crazy to just give it all up. You'd be nuts. Trust me, they're gonna shoot you, they're gonna murder you, they're gonna throw you in prison. You can't give it all up. But we have to talk correct, and we have to live as correctly as we can. And I try to live as correctly as I can. I understand what money is, and I understand that it has to go away. You know, I pulled my intellectual capital out of corporations that are using my intellectual capital just to create wealth and efficiencies and proficiencies for them, for their coffers. There are children who need innovation. There are children who have needs that are going without, and there are corporations that have much more than what they could ever want, and politicians. But everyone's got to determine their own levels. It's up there, everybody's up there. Everybody determine their levels. My level is minimal because there's not much I need. Right? I don't need a whole bunch of shirts and shoes and laptops and cars and flashy stuff and big houses. I have no interest in any of that stuff. I used to. I have no interest in any of that stuff. To me, I'll be honest with you. I pity people who are still consumers. I get it, but I pity them. I pity them because the people who pay the maximum price to hold them up, they are completely apathetic to. It's like a Chelsea Clinton. It's like these princesses and princes. To a degree, everybody feels that they are, right? Because they turn on that indifference when they need to because they like the lifestyle. And why did kings and lords and queens become kings and lords and queens? Lifestyle. They were just a little better than most people. And that's why I'm saying it takes everybody to flip this. It's not something that anyone can do alone. It takes everybody to finally say, I get it now. Like I'm a part of a system that shouldn't exist. And we all are hypocrites to a degree. Listen to our intuitions, not our ego. That would be a wonderful thing, Carolyn. I think all of our intuitions are based in love and being humans. I feel like the fastest way out is to use money to buy out. And that is a way, Kim. You actually can use money in corporations to get rid of money in corporations. The Ubuntu movement actually has a I forgot his name. The brother who did Ubuntu, he's got a great model for that. You can actually use corporations to make money, use the profit for innovation, and use the excess beyond the innovation to make the product, the product cheaper, but anything that's beyond that, you can give back to the community. Money keeps us focused on material things instead of humanity things. It turns us into something we're not. It does, Susan. And so I don't think the love of money is the root of all evil. I think the concept of money is the root of all evil. It's not the currency and the gold, it's the fact that you have it and what you get from it. We have a evolved need things, right, to consume, and I think that's abused by money. That's abused by currency systems. We get safety from food and houses and all this stuff, and so the more we have, the more we want, and the more we have, the more we got to protect it. And it's an endless cycle of greed. Money never bought good decisions. It didn't, Matthew, and it never will. It buys slaves though. Let's see. Nope, 2020. I like Nope 2020 for Trisha. I have no interest 2020. I have no interest at all. 2020, we should be buying tickets to politicians to go to Yemen. That's what we should be doing. Let me see. We store nuclear waste underground. When we store nuclear waste underground close to earthquake-prone areas, and when we build public housing, it's most often on poisonous former industrial sites, completely retarded. Yes, Miss Tree, we absolutely do, and I've seen that. They build housing developments right next to dump sites, right? Because the land is cheap, and a developer wants to buy cheap land and put people there, and we do that. But they're not forward thinking. Like, government makes these decisions, and legislators, it's always about them getting paid. They don't make the decision because it's a good idea to put nuclear waste in earthquake zones. It's like, no, the land is cheap because it has a lot of earthquakes. So somebody's going to pay me and, fuel into my campaign to actually allow the nuclear waste to go there on the cheap side because the corporation doesn't want to pay full cost for the land in a place that's stable. And then, we're just constantly kicking that can down the road. So when that earthquake comes, you're not just dealing with buildings falling and the people who die from it. Now you got to worry about all the nuclear waste underground that's making it into the waterways. They're just bad ideas upon bad ideas upon bad ideas. But that's why I like direct democracy more than representative government. If you vote for someone doesn't mean they're going to do the right thing. It's like a disconnection from control of government. You're voting for someone to represent you. And once they're in office, they just buy them. They just write a check. Let me see. The shut up and put up philosophy is BS. I'm not sure what the shut up and put up philosophy is. Professionals have known for about a decade that teen minds perform better after 10 a.m. and we still ship them off to school early in the morning for convenience. Never thought about that, Miss Tree. That is true. It's true because we go to work. We don't want the kids to be at home alone. We've seen Home Alone. We don't want the kids to be free and jump on the bed and fight criminals. So we put them on a bus and we send them off to slavery at 7 a.m. in the morning. It's crazy. I never even thought about that. For convenience, like we don't even care about children in so many ways. Like all these laws and legislation, how it's set, we don't give two damns about them. We only care about ourselves. We don't care anything about the next generation. We just care about our convenience this generation. That's so true. That is so true. It's a great example of it. Fluoride is used in the processing of steel to remove rust contaminants. We put it in the water, running through the old lead pipes. Oh my gosh. Oligarchy, it has its benefits. That's what it comes down to. And people still vote for it, so I keep Facebook friends on both sides, red and blue. I don't have to agree with them. but seeing them argue is entertaining. It is, isn't it, Ivan? It's just delicious sometimes. I know it's a bad hobby. It's a bad hobby. I have to admit. I shouldn't feel that way. I do sometimes. I just sit there and I just watch. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'll make a post just because I know it's going to get them just going back and forth. But sometimes I try to heal it. I try to get in there and just throw the in the middle points. But it's I guess it's very Coliseum-ish. I have to work on that. But it's just like, it's going to sound bad, but I do view them as children. I'm sorry, I do. I don't know what else to say. To see grown adults fighting over what they want more than what children need is very childish. But they don't see it, and so I just sit back and I watch it. Those that went off grid are walking and talking. Are walking the talk and earn my respect. They actually earn my respect, Rebecca. They actually, people who can, but also going off grid is a privilege, right? It's a privilege that very few have, right? And most who do, they don't make it, they come back. Like, I like the whole off-grid thing. They have my respect, and that I hope is my future. However, the reality is that it's being banned everywhere. It's being banned, and they don't want off-grid communities. They want you on the grid, because the politicians are paid to have you on the grid. So they absolutely have my respect, and it should be a goal for all of us, which is why I try to give up my skill sets anytime I can. I'll teach people anything that I know, and I learned an awful lot. Y'all should watch Doomsday Preppers. Doomsday Preppers are not as crazy as you think. That was a good show. My kids and I used to watch that. We learned how to make everything. And they're not crazy people. They're people who are actually looking at history and using a little imagination for the future. They're no more crazy than people who are pulling levers for 2020 to keep authority amongst people who are serving up children to the elite. Right? Not crazy. You ask me, people who are voting a little crazier than anybody I've seen on Doomsday Preppers. I would have taken a sword to them. Oh Lord, who are you taking a sword to? All right, let me see. I gotta get down. I'm way up here. Let me see. They found El Dorado, John, and they're looking for El Dorado. They're still looking for El Dorado. I saw something last night, John. I was watching a talk, and they were thinking that El Dorado, City of Gold, was at the bottom of Lake Titicaca. Let me see. Pyramid-shaped temple, like, most likely predates this empire as everywhere else on Earth. Right, and that's a good question, Ivana, is people need to focus. There are pyramids all over this planet. They're in lakes under oceans. There's one in America under some lake I was watching this morning. There are pyramids all over. Who the heck are the pyramid builders? Why did they build pyramids? What are we missing? That's more important than everything on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. Because our ancients thought it was so important that they had to build these massive, massive structures. Highly important. Let me see, Graham Hancock, America Before. Just started reading it. America may have been where civilization actually started, or part of the ancient global civilization. Right, so now it goes back to the Younger Dryas period and before the mound builders, and everything that was here was wiped out by that massive asteroid. So it could be, and so there's a debate. You know, life, they said, would originate in Africa. Then they said it originated in India. And now they're saying it might even be America. Who knows? But then again, I think if you go back far enough, I actually think life started on Pangea. I think we're millions of years old. I think we weren't the first hominids to discover intelligence. I think there's something to the whole reptilian thing. Something. Because it only takes 10,000 years or so before all technology is pretty much wiped out and reclaimed by nature. Probably less, in terms of breaking down buildings and plastic and steel metal girders back in the sand or soil. So we have no idea where we come from. We have no idea. All we know is everybody either keeps getting wiped out or they keep leaving. And I think that's an important thing to focus on than wiping other people out and taking their resources. They figure out how to do technology in a simpler way than we have to. I think, Kim, that you're right. I think that in the past they used some sort of a spiritual technology. I think that they use their thought for things, that whole placebo effect thing to control mind over matter. I think they figured that out, and we just went the route of mechanical technology. Roman American playbook. Destroy people, culture, heritage, beliefs. They're easier to enslave. And I keep agreeing with everybody. Nobody's disagreeing. Look at the Roman Empire, you understand America. You look at the Persian Empire, you understand it. Look at the empire that they just found, that they just dug up in Cambodia, you understand America. It's an empire. Empires require police states to shoot people and rob them and steal their daughters and kill their anyone that's not supporting of the imperial system, you know. And we're supposed to look at Star Wars. You're supposed to be Luke Skywalker, not Darth Vader. Not Darth left, Darth right. You're supposed to be Luke Skywalker. Gerard, all we have to do is use technology in the right way for productive instead of destructive. Is take control of the system. The longer we wait, less chance we're gonna have ever to do it. Very true, John. It's spot on. We have to use technology for the development of humanity, not for the destruction of weaker people. That's what cowards do. If we actually do that, we might have a chance. The longer we wait, John, the more we keep voting to steal what each other has and take each other's rights, to give government more and more power and more authority, the longer it's going to take. And if the kids got to do it, eventually it's going to be a violent solution. And I think that's a mistake. I think we should be more evolved in that. Abolish authority 2020, Beaufont? I hope so. I hope 2020 we see people walk away. I don't think so, because they're still scared of Trump and they still think he's Jesus. Elementary school, lights off in the short hall, gym teacher, touched all us girls repeatedly. It was normal. And that was my point, Rebecca, and I knew somebody was going to say it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Because the CIA does it, Epstein does it, the government's okay with it, they're poor children, and nobody cares about it. And so, of course, these things that have been happening since the beginning. You know what scares me the most, Rebecca, which is why I always throw things back to the whole abusive women thing, is we'll never know how ugly it is. We'll never know how ugly it is. Because most women still won't come off of the stories, right? They're still too horrific. They literally block it out of their mind. It's how the human mind works. Like, it's the psychology. I find it fascinating. I'm not a psychologist. I find it fascinating that when things happen to us that are so horrific, we block them out of our mind like they didn't even happen. And the human mind has the ability to create its own reality because that reality is safer and allows it to function more than being honest with what actually happened in the past. And it's a statement of the sickness of our society that we've given so much authority to a few that they've designed a society that requires so many women hide their upbringing and their rearing because we don't have a child protection agency protecting children. We don't have a government that sees women as equal. We don't have a government that can't realize the harm in placing every child in a school for a GDP and under control of other human beings in a society where profitable mental illness is being created. It's insanity. It's complete insanity. All right, let me get down. I gotta get out of here. All right. Good talk. Move along. I gotta go. It's got slavery. I gotta fix some cotton. Off-grid has got to be rough. Lots of hard work, yet privilege too. Well, Rebecca, it's rough if you do it wrong. If you do it right, it's very easy. It's very easy to grow all your own food. It's very, very easy using modern technology. This is what John was talking about at the top. We have the innovation to grow all your food. All right. We have the ability to do that with robots and automation and learning software. We can do that. No one's doing it and giving it away. We need to do it and literally give it away. Not open source. There's a difference between open source and giving it away. Give it away. All right. We need to treat, and this is why it goes back to us viewing everybody as a cousin. Making things and giving them away. Not trying to get a patent, not trying to make billions and millions of dollars on it, but just do it and give it away. Why? Because we're all related. And there's no such thing as giving it away anyway, right? If you actually start making grow software, which is very easy to do, I have my own, and just giving it away, you're actually being paid for it, right? Because it means that more people will have, and when more people have, less people are fighting over having, right? You create less mental illness, less people are getting robbed, raped, prison system, crime, violence starts to go away. We need to start, whatever you do, always give away a certain portion of it. Infinite love to all. Pangea makes sense. What makes sense, Kim, I think, because Pangea was all one big island, all these pyramids, and then everything started separating. So if human beings are millions of years old, which I think they are, and I think we have enough archaeology to prove that we've been here for a long damn time, enough parts to prove that, then these civilizations probably all started in one place. And whether it's Atlanteans or reptilians or what's that other one? Lumerians, like whatever it is. There were people who started a long time before us, and it's important that we know what they knew, especially towards the end of their civilization, which is why archaeology is extremely important. If we don't fight when they come to our homes, we get fudged. What can be accomplished if they herd us together, force us to live in urban areas? Where can we grow? Well, Megan, so there's a difference between Agenda 21 and Agenda mind our own business. Agenda go off grid, right? Agenda 21 is getting everybody in the easy kill spot, an easy control spot. What we're talking about is off grid and using technology from an individual perspective, right? You live on your own land somewhere, and we're just giving away grow systems so you can live and grow on that land. You do your own thing. You know, I have no parts of no Agenda 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, any of that. It's agenda, give automation and innovation to human beings that need food, land, freedom, and water. Give it to them. That's it. That's the only agenda. But definitely not listening. Anytime you listen to somebody, Agenda 21, no, it's agenda nothing. Agenda 0, that's what it is. Agenda 0. You need this? Here you go. Just don't hurt nobody. Go live peaceful. That's what a government that cares about its people would be. Disney still says girls need Prince Charming. Right. Thank you, Lori. Isn't that true? All the Disney cartoons, they always got princes. They got kings. They got princesses. They got princes. And you always got slaves worshiping. That's why Disney is such a destructive organization. You know, because they're like indoctrinating that in the kid's mind that this is normal. It's okay to have a king and a lord and serve. You know, it's insanity. Kids that are raised in that feudal concept as a fairy tale loves the idea of government. Right? They love the idea of it. Because they think, well, it's normal to them. Like there are betters and those who are like trash. And we're all trash. Go and get me, Susan. That's true. Darth Vader was indoctrinated too. He was an indoctrinated tool for the Emperor. The love of his son changed his mind and heart, and Vader turned on the Empire. Love was the strongest force. Absolutely. We all need to be Vader in the end. It all belongs to everyone naturally. It does, Kim, and we need to share with everybody naturally because it all belongs to everybody. It doesn't belong to our betters because they're on top of us. Ooh, Rebecca's got the last comment. Hashtag agenda, give it all away. That's it. Agenda, give it away. That's all you got to do. You got to just love enough to give it away. So that's the last comment from Facebook, last comment from YouTube. The ugliness must stop. Yes, Brenda. People need to stop being proudly and popularly ugly. Boom, boom, boom. Grateful. Benjamin Franklin was never paid for inventing electricity. Exactly. We don't need to pay people for inventing things. We just need to make sure they got food, house, light, laboratory, love. Let them go make things and give it away. And we can teach kids to do that from a school. If we have a school, it should be like 1 day a week. Listen, kids, go out, do things, make things. Look what we made. This is how we made it. Take this, make it better. See if you can pick this out, flip it, do whatever. Now go out and make some stuff. Here's more research. What you need? You need more of this, more of that. Some actuators. You need this. You need some more crayons. But here you go. Okay, now go do something beautiful and give it back to the community. We can raise kids to be a collective, not an Agenda 21 collective, not socialism, not capitalism, not communism. One fighting against each other for survival of the fittest and the others just working together for a king. Work together for the human race and be done with it. A lot of Disney movie characters were orphans. Yeah, they were, Belinda. There's a lot of weird stuff in Disney. And I think if we really focus on it, we'll see there's a lot more brainwashing there than what we want to do. All right, this is Gerard. Listen, y'all have a great day. We need to stop with droit de seigneur. Lords' rights. The Lords have no rights. The only thing that has rights is human beings, and we don't need leaders anymore. We need to grow the hell up and evolve and discover consciousness. Gerard, I'm out of here. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.